Around and an expert at finding the seams in a defense, and his favorite target the last 2 years has been flanker Albert Bell.
Play action and boom, down he goes. Cornelius Bennett. Loose ball, no, the turf calls for fumble. Oh my goodness, did Cornelius Bennett bury him at the 25-yard line.
Bennett lines up anywhere on the field and then flies to the ball. The senior doesn't make the most tackles, but he sure makes the big ones.
The tailback is Humphrey. Sweep on the right side. Gets the block. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Alabama.
Bobby Humphrey has already rushed for 1,004 yards this season with 12 touchdowns. Last week against Mississippi State, the sophomore halfback rolled for 284 yards, the 4th highest total an SEC back has ever had. LSU's offense had to count on some new names in 1986, and the youngsters have produced with a passing game that is rolling up the yards.
Here's Hodson, lofty pass to Davis, touchdown! The Tigers regained the lead 16-14. It's a 9-yard payoffer to Wendell Davis. Do they believe in him?
They certainly do, and because Davis and Hodson are LSU's most dangerous weapon in the offensive arsenal, it's an SEC showdown on ESPN.
Welcome to the football capital of the South, Birmingham, Alabama, where tonight the skies are cloudy, threatening though, 70 degrees, and we do have a tornado watch in effect. Interestingly, when these two clubs last met, tornadoes did pass through this area. And the Southeastern Conference race has been turbulent, to say the least. But Alabama is one step away after this LSU game if they remain unscathed from the Sugar Bowl. That's what could happen if they have a victory tonight. Now, the LSU Tigers are hoping to force a 4-way tie with a win. Hello, everyone. I am Tim Brando. Pat McAnally and Mike Patrick will be calling tonight's action. Truly, LSU, after its loss to Ole Miss last week, it has its back up against the wall. They must win to force that 4-way tie and give the Sugar Bowl all kinds of possibilities for New Year's Day. As for Alabama, they just want to keep on rolling. Right, Mike and Pat?
Tim, that's for sure. It's a big, big ball game for both of these teams in the Southeastern Conference. And if LSU is going to win tonight, Pat, they're going to have to overcome an awful lot of injuries.
Well, the LSU is really hurting on defense right now. They've already lost Norman Jefferson. They're all SEC cornerbacks. Steve Rehage, who's a big hitter at strong safeties, out. And, of course, Michael Brooks, their All-America linebackers, out for the season with a knee injury. So tonight they're going to have to gamble with their secondary, play a lot of 7- and 8-man fronts in order to stop that powerful Alabama running game.
Now, Bobby Humphrey for Alabama is already over 1,000 yards, and if LSU commits too much to the run in that area, they're going to open it up for Mike Shula.
Well, Mike Shula really isn't throwing the ball as well or as often as last year. In fact, last week against Mississippi State, he only threw 6 passes. He had 1 completion and interception. The other problem is they're not getting the ball to Albert Bell, their flanker. And this guy is all earth when he has a pigskin. But he only has 4 catches in the last month, and that just isn't enough.
You want a great receiver. How about Wendell Davis of LSU?
Well, we had Wendell in the first game of the season against Texas A&M. He had 9 or 10 catches that night, and he's continued at that pace. LSU has to get the ball to their wide receivers, either Davis or Raji McGee, their flanker. If they don't, they just won't move the ball on the ground because the running game isn't strong enough.
2 powerful Southeastern Conference teams, a possible Sugar Bowl berth in the offing, and it's all coming up on ESPN.
Hello. Exceptionally smooth, distinctive taste is why the night belongs to Michelob. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. By your local independent Safeco agent. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
It's time for another Safeco Insurance Pop Quiz. Here's today's question. Safeco is able to offer you more protection for your money because A, they only insure careful drivers, B, they only insure careful homeowners, or C, they only insure people with freckles. If you answered C, you are excused from this commercial. But if you answered A or B, you could save with Safeco home and auto insurance. Safeco, the smart choice.
Why you bothering me, boy? Are you crazy?
I'm a chicken hawk and you're a chicken. Are you coming quietly or do I have to mush you up?
You're going at it all wrong, son. You gotta go to Kentucky Fried Chicken if you want to catch America's favorite chicken. It's a great place to get a great meal. No one makes tender, juicy chicken like the Colonel. It's finger-licking good. Here, son, let me give you a lift.
We do chicken right.
Give me a white.
That's not correct, Steve. Don't just ask for a light beer.
Come on, give me a light.
You asked for it, Steve.
Bud Light!
Yes, Steve. Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste.
Don't just ask for a light.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light, Steve.
We are back at a sold-out Legion Field in Birmingham, where tonight we are going to see a war in the SEC, but a war among friends. You see Don Shula, who coached with Bill Arnsparger at Miami, had a son named Mike. They're all very close friends, but tonight they match wits here in Birmingham. Bill Arnsparger will have a watchful eye on Mike Shula tonight, and well, he should, and he knows him well. The Tigers head coach saw him grow up.
Mike Shula has taken what he has and really perfected it, really worked at it, and has really developed. He did this in junior high school. He did this in high school, and he's doing it in college. And Mike Shula is a great example of someone really working to be the best.
I'm sure this week is going to be especially special for me because I'm playing against a person that I've admired all my life and grown up with his son, and as Coach Arnsparger has been with my dad at the Dolphins, and I have a lot of respect for what he did down there and what he's done at LSU. And I think if you're successful against their defense, you know you've accomplished something.
Perkins has the utmost respect for Mike, and the Alabama coach has seen his share of great quarterbacks in Tuscaloosa.
Biggest thing that I think a really fine quarterback has to be able to do, and that is to think clearly, think quickly, and react to that thought process in a clutch situation. And I think Mike does that as well as any quarterback I've ever been in. Certainly he has great leadership qualities, and he has the set of intangibles that you really like. I don't know that I would ask for any more intangibles than what Mike Shula has as far as a quarterback is concerned.
Shula's favorite target, Al Bell, recognizes the value of the Tide quarterback. The team respects his name as well as performance.
I don't feel a lot of folks out there watching Alabama football understand the meaning of quarterbacks a lot of times, and the hard work that they go through, the difficulty of practice schedules, the difficulties of learning the offenses and defensive sides of the ball. And he's a leader because he keeps the team spirit going, and everyone on the team respects Mike Shula. We know what the meaning of his last name is from him being a student here at the University of Alabama, and he's just a great guy overall.
Mike Shula does not possess the great physical skills. So what is his biggest asset?
I think I've learned over the years to become disciplined and try to do the smart thing with the football, and regardless of the situation or whatever happens on previous drives, forget about that and keep your poise and confidence and have your concentration on the drive that you're going on now.
I don't think there's a coverage that young man has not seen on film or seen in person or talked to, or talked with his coaches at Alabama, or talked with his father, or talked with his brother David. So you're not going to fool him, I don't think, on the football field. And I think he's got great confidence, and he trusts that what he sees on the field coverage-wise is going to happen. And I think that's the biggest thing in the development of a quarterback, is having the confidence that your reads are going to hold true.
Bloodline is important, but Coach Perkins feels the credit should go where it is due, and that is to Mike Shula.
I don't like to take it away from Mike. I don't like to take away the credit where the credit's due, and I think Mike Shula deserves the credit because he's the one that's put forth the effort. He's the one that's studied. He's the one that's put in all the hard work on the practice field to become the player that he has become.
We are going to develop this story much more as the night progresses. Don Shula will join us live at halftime, and we'll also have a chance to visit with his wife, Dorothy, who doesn't miss a game in Birmingham. Alabama and LSU are coming up, and we'll continue with pregame festivities right after this.
Good times coming, TV Guide says, take a look at what's in store. What's in store for you in every issue of TV Guide is a real insider's look at what's on the air and in the air on network, local, cable, and pay TV. Every week, TV Guide cues you into the best of the coming attractions so you can preview all the fun, fantasy, and fascinating real-life drama ahead. So take advantage of this special offer and call now.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200. Get 30 exciting issues of TV Guide for 3 easy monthly payments of just $5.75 each.
You'll enjoy the convenience of home delivery, and you can't beat the price. What are you waiting for? Do it now, okay? Good times coming, TV Guide says, and TV Guide says call today.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200.
The Soviet national basketball squad meets an American powerhouse, Georgia Tech, live Wednesday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
All right, we're back here in the ESPN studios. Bino Cook joining me in just a bit. Here's some of the games we'll be keeping track of for you during that LSU-Alabama game. First one, Washington and Oregon State. That one is now a final. Washington winning at 28-12. The other one, and it's a key game, Arizona State is now leading California 14-0 in the first quarter. If they win that game, they will go to the Rose Bowl. Louisiana Tech taking on Northeast Louisiana tonight. Southwest Louisiana taking on Southern Mississippi. And Louisville taking on Tulane. We'll be keeping you up to date on all of those. Our Saturday night special has Fort Valley State, the Wildcats, going against the Savannah State Tigers in Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference action. Our game, though, Bino, LSU and Alabama. We're going to find out what's going on in the Southeastern Conference tonight.
And that's correct. And Mike Shula, 2 of the greatest drives in the last seconds of games last year against Georgia for the winning touchdown and setting up the field goal to beat Auburn. He knows what to do in the entire game, and especially in the last 2 minutes.
You like him in the fourth quarter. All right, we're going to see what happens in that game. We're sending you back now to Legion Field in Birmingham to Mike Patrick and our crew. Let's go back.
This crowd is in a frenzy for tonight's game, Alabama and LSU. Remember, it hasn't always been peaches and cream for Ray Perkins. First few years were very difficult. Now, finally, he is on the threshold of his first SEC championship in replacing the legend, Bear Bryant. So tonight, will the Tide roll or will the Tiger growl? We will find out in Birmingham as Mike Patrick and Pat McAnally are in the saddle and will return with a kick in a moment.
Experience an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. Atra Plus. The Plus is the white Lubra-Smooth strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
No one really knows how your skin got sensitive. But if it is, try the shave cream with more advanced lubricants than any other. New Gillette Foamy for sensitive skin.
Master?
Quiet, I'm calculating.
Isn't it dark in there?
Not for my new Anilite solar calculator from Texas Instruments.
You have a Texas instrument?
Texas Instruments Anilite calculator. Unlike other solar calculators, it works in almost...
Anilite.
Good run field.
The new line of Anilite solar calculators from Texas Instruments.
Imagine the Prince of Darkness with a solar calculator.
Welcome back to Legion Field in Birmingham, where Alabama and LSU are about ready to go to war. Pat, for the viewers at home, how about a couple of things to keep an eye on tonight?
Well, the man to watch on LSU's defense is number 96, Henry Thomas, their nose guard. He'll be going against 3 All-Americans. Left guard, Larry Rose, center, Wes Neighbors, and right guard, Bill Condon. If he can force them to double-team him, that'll free up a weak side linebacker who'll be able to force and help against the running game. LSU, meanwhile, on offense, will have to contain number 97, Cornelius Bennett, Alabama's All-America linebacker. He reminds me a lot of Lawrence Taylor, the Giants, will be all over the field. He'll line up inside, outside, right side, left side. If they don't block him, he'll be in the backfield, disrupt their offense, and it'll be a long night for the Tigers.
Beautiful shot of Legion Field in Birmingham, sold out. 75,808 fans are here to see it. Van Tiffin, number 3, the superb place kicker from Alabama, setting all sorts of school records, and he will kick it away to Sam Martin, number 23, and Eddie Fuller, number 33, waiting at the LSU goal line. This is a big, big game, not only in the Southeastern Conference, but for college football around the country. And we are set to go. Alabama in red and white to kick it away. And it's Fuller, 5 yards deep, and Sammy Martin says down it, and he will down it there. LSU will start from its own 20-yard line with freshman quarterback Tom Hodson to run the offense. He's already started to rewrite the record books here. Behind him in the backfield, Martin and Jean-Baptiste. Davis is their star receiver, 14 catches a week ago. Up front, Andelsek, the all-conference member of a veteran offensive unit. They're in the eye. Martin is the deep man. Jean-Baptiste, number 44, is the fullback. And keep an eye on Bennett, number 97. He's the man to watch on that Alabama defense. They give it to Martin. He's got about 3 and no more. Alabama's defense, an excellent unit led by All-American Cornelius Bennett and All-SEC Kurt Jarvis up front. The inside linebackers, Gilbert and Davis, are number 1 and number 2 in tackles. The secondary led by Robinson, an All-SEC corner, and Thomas, who is a real hitter back there. 2nd and 7 for LSU. And there's a good look at Tom Hodson, a young man who's done a great job as a freshman. He may own every LSU passing record in the books before he's done. And he's back to throw for the first time. Swing to Martin. 25, 30, first down, and Cornelius Bennett, big number 97, is the man in on the tackle, but he couldn't prevent the first down.
I think coming in into this game tonight, Mike, LSU needs to do a couple things. They need to establish a running game up the middle, which they tried to do on first down. Some quick hitters, split that tough defense of Alabama, and they're going to have to get wide with some quick screens to their halfbacks. Very well executed there.
One thing every team does, Pat, is try to find the star player on defense, sometimes the free safety, somebody to key on. Now, they're obviously going to look for Cornelius Bennett, but they're doing it in a very different way.
Well, their tight end, number 49, Finchen, will look for him on every play. Watch, he switches right here to the other side of the formation. He's going to find Cornelius Bennett and block it.
And then they want to try to run away from that. That time they got by Bennett, but the rest of the defense pursued. And number 99, Cliff Thomas, got a piece of that tackle.
We'll see here what Cornelius Bennett, number 97, will be on your screen. This is what he does to offenses. He penetrates very quickly. Kinchin misses that block, although he doesn't make the tackle here. Again, he doesn't lead him in tackles. He just makes the plays and sets up the rest of the defense for the tackles. Very good at that. Penetration.
First hit on the last play, Greg Gilbert, number 56. He's the leading tackler for Alabama. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Bennett gets one-on-one blocking, and they throw the swing again to Martin. More blocking, first down, 43. Fumbled the ball, but after he hit the ground, now the officials are looking at each other and make the determination that the ground did cause that fumble.
Well, this will look like a swing pass, but it's actually... Oh, we got an injury here.
Is down.
Oh, this is a bad break.
The freshman quarterback holding his right knee or right shin, and the LSU training staff coming out to work on him.
Cornelius Bennett caused this injury. He's going to rush the passer as he does almost every play. Unusual linebacker. He really doesn't drop off ever in coverage. Here he comes. He'll beat the tackle outside. He'll come in. He's going to roll right into that leg. Now, that was unintentional, just a bad break for Hodson. Odd way to get hurt. He stood there after throwing the ball. That's a problem with AstroTurf. A lot of times your foot will stick on the turf. Somebody will hit you. It's an incidental hit, yet it'll be an injury.
Looks like he caught him on the shin, and Hodson is up and walking off under his own power. This will get Mickey Guidry, number 10, into the ball game at quarterback. This Guidry is no stranger. He has been in there frequently during the year. They say the young man deserves the playing time, and he gets it. And Eddie Fuller, number 33, is now in there at running back, along with Jean-Baptiste, 44, on 1st and 10 LSU. Guidry, an excellent reader of defenses, gives it to Jean-Baptiste. And Jean-Baptiste lost his footing and went down at the 45-yard line. He was covered by Freddie Robinson, number 21, but Jean-Baptiste had already hit the ground. He doesn't carry the ball that much, primarily a blocker in their offensive scheme.
Well, when you have Harvey Williams and Sam Martin in that backfield, you need a fullback to open up the holes.
Second down, now 9 yards to go for LSU. 12-24 and counting. First quarter of play from Legion Field in Birmingham. Alabama showing blitz, and then they back off. Guidry over the middle to Kinchin, his tight end, and Kinchin has the ball in Alabama territory at the 46-yard line. Tim Brando has something for us from the sideline. Tim?
Tommy Hodson is in great shape, should be able to return, in fact, on this series, and just as I speak, here he comes. Remember, Mickey Guidry can read very well, and with the activity of Cornelius Bennett, a guy like Guidry is something else in reserve for LSU, but Hodson's in great shape, and he's out there to prove it.
Mickey Guidry's a pretty handy guy to have around. Martin and Harvey Williams in the backfield together for the first time. Williams making his first appearance tonight. And movement by Hazard, the right tackle for LSU, and that'll cost them 5. 6'3", 256 pounds.
Right here, we're seeing, Mike, what LSU wants to do offensively as far as their passing game. That looks like a swing pass they're throwing out there, but it's actually a quick screen. They're pulling out their guard, their tackle to that side, and they're blocking, and then they want to go to their tight end, Kinchin, over the middle. That's where Alabama's vulnerable. If they can get the quick hitters on the ground or the tight end over the middle.
Isn't that a particularly effective play, especially when they throw it to the side that Bennett is lined up on, because he's the man who's going to give you the pressure anyhow. If you're going to throw that little quick screen, you don't have to bother to double team him.
Right, that's one of the few times you want to go toward Bennett. That's on that quick screen.
Now it's 1st and 15 for LSU, just shy of the 50-yard line. Williams on the toss. Cuts it back. And maybe he shouldn't have. And a flag is down. Flag comes down late at midfield. Harvey Williams is clapping his hand, and it's going to be a personal foul against Alabama. 57, Randy Rockwell, and 58, Wayne Davis were the guys in there on the tackle. And something happened after the play. And it'll cost them 15 yards. Ray Perkins wants to know what it was all about. Personal foul, no indication of a face mask.
Let's see if we can see this penalty. All right, Williams gets hit here. He's down on the ground. He's kind of ripped his head around. It's kind of guarded there, but I guess the referees are going to get on this game early.
1st and 10, 35. Into the flat. Intercepted. It is picked off by Freddie Robinson, the all-SEC corner. He had it all the way.
Well, this is one of the problems with throwing that out route to the wide side of the field. The ball is in the air just too long. Freddie Robinson has 3 interceptions already this year. There's a throw by Hodson, but notice how far the ball has to go on the short route. Robinson just cuts right in front of the receiver, makes a nice interception. Low percentage pass and a high percentage interception ball.
Alabama quickly back on the attack from their own 26-yard line. Shula wants to throw on 1st down. Downfield, complete to Richardson. Richardson at the 32-yard line. There's Mike Shula. The senior quarterback does not have the greatest tools, but he is a great leader and a winner. The Tide's best back, Bobby Humphrey, only the 2nd man in school history over 1,000 yards. The wideouts, Bell and Richardson, are exceptional. The offensive line, a great group of run blockers. Neighbors and Condon have all conference talent there. Gain of 6 on the first play. This is Humphrey on the sweep. He's got the 1st down to the Alabama 37-yard line. That LSU defensive front tough against the run, even without the injured All-American Michael Brooks. At linebacker, Toby Caston has taken over the leadership role on this club. The secondary, something to be concerned about. They're really banged up. 2 starters expected to see limited action at best tonight for LSU. There is Hodson. Young man who now talking with Guidry after he threw that interception. 1st and 10, Alabama on offense for the first time tonight. And Humphrey, the lone remaining back, gets the ball. Humphrey across the 43. Tackled by Chris Carrier, the weak side safety. Something to keep an eye on tonight. Humphrey, who you see set that brilliant school record a week ago. LSU has not given up 100 yards to anybody on the ground this year, and this guy just lives off a 100-yard game.
Well, he's tremendous talent. And, the big thing he's got going for those pulling guards. He's got great fullbacks to block in front of him, and he has a great talent himself, and he has a backup tailback, Jones, to help him out.
This is Allen, the fullback, across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Number 48, Nicky Hazard, in on the tackle, one of the inside linebackers.
One thing is interesting watching Alabama, Mike, is that they're going to throw that toss sweep at you time and time again. LSU knows coming into this game that Alabama's going to do it. Everybody knows it, but no one stopped him but Penn State. Absolutely incredible. Penn State held him to 44 yards on 33 tries in the running game.
Tough ticket to get in Birmingham, 75,808, and they're all sold. 3rd and a yard. Humphrey got it outside across the 50 into LSU territory at the 48-yard line. 1st down. Carrier had to chase him out of bounds again.
What I want you to watch here is not only the fullback, Doug Allen, blocking back, and Humphreys, the tailback, but watch these linemen. You're going to see them come into your picture here. They stay with their blocks. Watch him. Great block right there by the fullback. Took him out. Easy 1st down. Those linemen occupy the people, then up comes the fullback to take out the support man, and Humphrey picks up the 1st down.
Humphrey 16 yards on 3 carries. He's 120 yards short of Johnny Musso's all-time single-season record. He'll get it on the swing. Broke 1 tackle and got to the 42-yard line, and Henry Thomas was the nose guard who had to chase him downfield.
Well, that's already 2 passes on 1st down for Alabama. Obviously, Coach Ray Perkins came into this game knowing they're going to have to put the ball in the air. I'd like to see him go downfield a little bit more often, though, to Bell and Richardson. They can't just live off these screen passes the whole night.
It's one of their favorite routes, the little swings or screens. And, of course, throwing on 1st down negates a lot of what LSU wants to do on defense. 2nd and 3. Humphrey can't get outside this time, and he's buried. Big number 99, Oliver Lawrence, ended up on top of him. Sophomore is playing a lot more an outside linebacker since they lost All-American Michael Brooks.
Let's watch the nose guard. Number 96, Henry Thomas, against Wes Neighbors. Center is All-America right there. He's blocking him. He takes him on. But watch, Thomas won't quit. This is what a nose guard has to do. Keeps his balance, and he'll get in on this tackle. He absolutely controlled the center on that play and got in on the tackle. That's what they need from him all night long.
So it's 3rd down and 2 from the LSU 40. Shula looks over the defense. 2 tight ends in there and out of the eye. Humphrey, this is their bread and butter. He's got the 1st down at the LSU 36-yard line, and Chris Carrier again in on the stop.
34 yards, 1st down, Alabama.
Richardson will come back into the wide receiver as Alabama has the 1st down. 1st and 10, 7:35 to go. They've mixed up the plays really well. Thomas is out at the middle guard, and Darrell Phillips, number 62, is in there. Bill Arnsparger alternating some people on defense. Again, 1st down. Shula wants to throw. Dumps it off to Allen as fullback. And Allen gets down to the 30-yard line before Phillips, who drops off in that nose guard spot, and Toby Casta, number 69, make the tackle.
Well, I think before this 1st quarter, definitely before the 1st half is over, I think Shula's going to go up top. I think against LSU, with them playing so aggressively against that run, they're going to have to go up top and go deep to Richardson or Bell. I don't think they can keep throwing short all night long.
Well, they're going to make LSU prove it to them, though. They move the ball very well. 2nd and 4 right now. Humphrey almost kept his balance. Chris Carrier again is in on a tackle. Carrier's going to wear out his shoulder pads in the 1st quarter.
We said earlier that Bobby Humphrey has a lot of good blockers in front of him, but he's also quite an athlete. He almost broke this play just keeping his balance, but watch how well he follows his blocks. He'll find the seam and cut outside right there. Almost kept his balance on that play. He has great vision of the field. When he runs out of that deep eye, he can see the holes, and he hits them so quickly.
Angelo Stafford, number 86, going to the top of your screen. He is the 2nd tight end in there, and they'll give it to Humphrey. Flag is down on 3rd and 1, and they stopped him. I don't think Humphrey got it as Kobe Caston closed it up on the left side. We'll check the penalty. And it's procedure against Alabama. And this will leave the decision up to LSU. It looked like they were short on third down, so it would be 4th and short or 3rd and about 6. What would you do?
I think if they're short, I make a kick a field goal. If not, I think that they should take the penalty here.
They have declined it, so it will be 4th and less than a yard, and Ray Perkins will go for the field goal. And why not? He's got Van Tiffen, a young man who's going to connect from just about anywhere. That's number 3. Kicked 10 of 11 field goals this year. This will be a 44-yard attempt. His long this year is 48, but he's got plenty of leg in his career. He's kicked a 57-yarder. So this is from 44 to give Alabama the first points. Plenty of leg, but it's wide. For only the 2nd time this year, Alabama misfires on a field goal. Timeout on the field. It's 0-0.
The Volvo 760, the car for people whose means have changed, but whose values haven't. Why you bothering me, boy? Are you crazy?
I'm a chicken hawk and you're a chicken. Are you coming quietly or do I have to mush you up?
You're going at it all wrong, son.
You gotta go to Kentucky Fried Chicken if you want to catch America's favorite chicken. It's a great place to get a great meal. No one makes tender, juicy chicken like the Colonel. It's finger-licking good. Here, son, let me give you a lift.
We do chicken right.
LSU at Alabama is being brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in. And by Canon cameras, so advanced, they make the tough shots simple.
We're in Birmingham, Alabama, and the picture you're watching is from the SeaWorld airship.
Well, Van Tiffen is a great field goal kicker, but watch this. The holder, Abney, will just move the ball as he hits it. It was just enough to pull the ball a little bit to the right of the goalpost, and he missed.
LSU dodges a bullet and will take over from their own 27-yard line. Sean Batiste and Harvey Williams, the running backs. Williams, 22, has it on the toss. Can't get much. Larry Burnett has a scoreboard update for us from Bristol. Larry?
All right, Mike, if they win, they're in. That's the story for Arizona State as they take on California. If the Sun Devils win, they will be in the Rose Bowl. They're off to a good start. Channing Williams from 4 yards out. Arizona State leading at 21-0. They're in the second quarter at Tempe, Arizona.
Thank you, Larry. Our score here, 0-0. And LSU with a football, 2nd and 9 from their own 28-yard line. Hodgson has that little quick screen again and almost picked off. Big number 95, Kurt Jarvis, the nose guard. That would have been an incredibly difficult catch, but he knew where the ball was going.
Well, I guess you can only throw so many of these screens. Kurt Jarvis, number 95, is an all-SEC player. He's going to take an outside maneuver from his nose guard position, which is unusual now. He's outside, and he almost intercepted that ball. And I don't know if he'd have scored, but he'd have lumbered for a few yards.
266 going to be tough to bring down. 3rd and 9. Hodgson telegraphed that one a little bit. Alabama showing an 8-man front right now. And back out of it. Bennett.
Nice crossing route.
And it's dropped. Looked like it was a little behind Wendell Davis, and he couldn't hold it as Hodgson was under enormous pressure from Cornelius Bennett.
Oh, Wendell Davis was wide open on this play. Excellent. ISO right here on him. He's going to cross. A nice little move upfield to freeze the linebacker. That's an excellent move. It's just behind him where he had this first down. And that was a nice move. When you cross, if you can put the move on the guy, back him up or freeze him, then you can cut across his face and get open, just like you did on that play.
DeFrank comes in to punt. At one time earlier this year, he led the nation in punting. Right now, he's averaging 41.9. And Greg Richardson is deep to receive. He's averaging almost 10 yards a return. A low kick that will get the roll, and Richardson will have to let it go. There is a flag down back at the LSU 25-yard line after a 46-yard kick. And a very nice bounce for Matt DeFrank.
Punters live for bounces, Mike. Don't you know that?
I don't mean to bring this up, but was Matt DeFrank the young man that you talked to when he was doing so well and his average has gone down about 9 yards a kick since then?
No comment.
No. I just want to know the truth. It is a procedure penalty against LSU, and Alabama is going to make him kick it again. Now, you got to own up to this. If his average had gone up 9 yards, I mean, you'd have made me mention it.
Well, when a guy's averaging 48, 49 yards, it's tough to improve him. I tried to improve his net punting, Mike. Who cares about gross? His average went down a little bit, but they're not getting as many returns.
Nice try. No, you're right. His net punting is terrific. It's 40.5. They'll take that anywhere.
Well, definitely. I'll put him in the Pro Bowl in the NFL. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
No question about that.
DeFrank's a junior. Cost him 5 yards. There is Richardson. Very dangerous return man. 3 more returns, and he owns the Southeastern Conference career record set by Bobby Majors at Tennessee. That's just great defense by Alabama, giving him enough opportunities to set that record. 4th and 14. DeFrank this time gets off a beauty. Looked like McAnally crushed it back to the 21-yard line. Richardson swarmed under at the 23. There is another flag down. A 56-yard boomer and a 1-yard return. And it's going to be holding against LSU, and you can bet Alabama will make him kick it again.
Fatigue could be a factor here. I don't think you very seldom see a punter hit 3 in a row. Usually when they hit a bad one, they come back with a good one, just like he did right there. But it's really tough to follow a big boomer like that with another kick because you're depressed. You hit a good one, and now you got to kick it again.
It is tough to remember. I don't remember ever seeing a punter have to kick 3 in a row. Did you?
How would you like to be the snapper or the cover guys? No, I haven't. This is 3 in a row. It's really tough on the coverage.
Looks like practice.
Well, that was fortunate for me as a professional. Of course, I had a clause in my contract per punt. Pay per punt. So right now, I'd be praying for the penalties. He'd be picking up some cash.
He's lucky it wasn't per yard. So the penalty puts LSU all the way back at its 11-yard line, and now Matt DeFrank has to kick from the end zone. And you're right. This got to be a lot of pressure. He's gotten off a 46 and a 56-yarder, and now they tell him to do it again.
DeFrank again in formation.
And Richardson can now wait at his own 43-yard line. Remember, he caught the last punt back at his 21. So Alabama really benefiting from these penalties.
This is where you'll see a big return a lot of times when the coverage teams are tired, having gone down a couple times.
DeFrank, not a great kick, but not a bad one. And Richardson into LSU territory, gets to about the 44-yard line. They make the tackle there, and we've got 4:01 to go in the first quarter in a 0-0 ball game.
All you need now is a car that won't start. At least one car company won't leave you stranded. If one of their new cars ever breaks down, someone will be sent out to help. Anytime, any place. It's part of a roadside assistance plan called On Call. But the best part about this plan is that it comes with a Volvo. So you may never need it.
I've always been afraid of 2 things, flying and good cameras. But with this Canon T70, I'm not afraid. This push-button T70 is so easy to use, I can even get the tough shot. And now you can get a $25 rebate. Great shots at a great price. Nothing to fear.
The Canon T70, so advanced it makes a tough shot simple.
I'm fearless now. Ooh. Now get a rebate up to $25 from Canon. Details at participating dealers.
Gateway Conference offensive power, Northern Iowa pounds it out against Indiana State. Live Thursday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
This is our shot of Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama from the SeaWorld airship. Making its network television debut based in Orlando. The pilot, Captain Jim Dexter of Severna Park, Maryland. Isn't that pretty? Based out of Orlando, and they'll be going out to San Diego to be based out there in the spring. 1st and 10, Alabama. Humphrey in motion. when Shula wants to throw. 3-man rush, 8 guys deep. He dumps it over the middle, hits his fullback Allen. 25, 24-yard line. Toby Caston makes the tackle.
Here's another pass on first down. Very effective. They ran Richardson and Bell deep. And LSU's just going to rush 3 men. Can't do that against the Alabama offensive line. Now watch, he's just going to dump the ball right over the middle because the backers have dropped so deep. You won't even see anyone for a second. Then he makes a nice cut. Has a one-on-one tackle, beats that man, and it's a big gainer just like that.
It's only the 8th catch of the season for Doug Allen. Coming out of the backfield. 1st and 10, LSU 23. Shula wants it again. This time he goes for Bell and has him at the 14-yard line. Bell knocked down by Kevin Guidry. The first catch of the night for Albert Bell, the senior out of Los Angeles. One thing about Shula, he is so often criticized for not having the rifle arm, not having all the natural athletic ability. But this is college football. People say, you know, he's not going to make it in the pros. He doesn't need to. He is the essence of a college quarterback.
I agree with you. I think it's very similar to the Archie Griffin syndrome. He won 2 Heismans. He came to the Bengals, really didn't play that well, didn't make All-Pro, and people said he was a failure. That's wrong.
Yeah, you bet it is. He's 5 out of 5 tonight. 2nd and 1 for the Crimson Tide. Allen, first down inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Chris Carrier again came up and helped out on the tackle, and Carrier, the weak side safety, is making too many tackles.
Well, they're not going to win the game if Chris Carrier keeps making these tackles. On this play, Doug Allen's going to break the tackle of Carl Wilson, number 72, is a very strong player. Right at the line of scrimmage, he's going to break right through that arm tackle and pick up the big yardage. That's what Alabama does so well, though, Mike. They go deep, they go round the ends, and they go up the middle with their fullback.
1st and goal, Allen, the fullback to the 4. Carrier again in on the stop, along with Carl Wilson, number 72. Alabama, before that play, had been averaging 9.2 yards on first down, and they've done it throwing, I think, 5 times on first down so far.
Well, they're mixing up very well, and I can't say enough about their center and their 2 guards. Probably the best trio in the country, Rose, Neighbors, and Condon. The 2 guards pull very well, yet they're strong enough to bang it up the middle with their fullback. That's what makes them so tough, those 3 guys right in the middle.
Double tight end situation on 2nd and goal from the 4. Shula on the fake. Nobody to pitch it to. And it looked like Humphrey went the wrong way. And it was great of Shula not just to pitch the ball on instinct, but to see that Humphrey wasn't there and just eat it.
Well, they were very fortunate on this play. We saw this happen in Baylor where the tailback went the wrong way. Might have audible at the line of scrimmage here, and Humphrey just made a mistake. There he goes to the left. Shula's going to the right. He has nobody to pitch to. He could have thrown that ball. Would have been a nightmare. A turnover right there. Heady play. He looked. A lot of quarterbacks don't even look.
Somehow he still got a yard out of it. 3rd and 3. Make it 3rd and goal from the 3. They split the backs and split the wide receivers. Shula, tight end, touchdown, Angelo Stafford. Angelo Stafford with his 2nd touchdown catch of the ball game. And there is Ray Perkins talking to Humphrey, telling him, son, you went the wrong way. You almost cost us one. And this is Van Tiffen going for his 130th consecutive extra point. That's an NCAA record, and for the school, it's now 189 straight.
Well, let's look at that touchdown to Stafford. The key to this play is Mike Shula, though. He'll drop back. He'll have plenty of time to look over the field. He's trying to go wide first. Now he'll look right in. He'll find Stafford just crossing 6'5" targets. A nice guy to see. Just kind of got lost in the traffic. Ray Perkins is happy. He told me going into the game, he'll go with some play action.
Such a nice touch from Shula, and he has Bama up 7-0.
The Volvo 760, the car for people whose means have changed, but whose values haven't.
I get nervous if I hear the word computer. No way I could ever use one.
That's how a lot of doctors and nurses felt about personal computers until they got one. And 2 brothers who own a trucking company until they got one. We're IBM, and we've seen some very skeptical people become very enthusiastic. And that makes us proud, because we have more computers helping more small businesses than anybody. IBM personal computers. Small business is getting big on them.
Alabama draws first blood with 1:20 to go in the first quarter of play, leading 7-0. We're at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and there is Van Tiffen to kick it away to Sammy Martin, number 23, and Eddie Fuller, 33, to the far side. And again, it's going to be Fuller. Now he lets Martin go for it, 2 yards deep, and he'll bring it out after a hesitation. Cuts it outside. Got a lot of speed, but they run him down at the 25-yard line. Excellent return by Sam Martin. We have a timeout in Birmingham. It's 7-0, Alabama over LSU.
Sports Illustrated wanted me to talk to you sports fans out there, and also to you people who love them. Christmas is coming, and if there's someone on your list who's interested in sports, give them Sports Illustrated. You fans know I'm big on sports. On the other hand, I'm also sensitive, warm, caring, kind of a teddy bear with muscles. So you folks can trust me to help you find a great gift. You fans are gonna love the week after week of action-packed.
We're back in Birmingham. It is 2nd and 9 for LSU. They have the ball at the 26-yard line. Back to throw. Hodson trying to go to Kinchin, and coverage there by Wayne Davis, number 58, who was all over Kinchin. Alabama's scoring drive only needed 44 yards. It took him 6 plays, and Shula, who has been perfect so far tonight, capped it off with a 3-yard touchdown pass. On the other side, Hodson has not had that big a night so far. 2 out of 6, 19 yards and an interception. And, Pat, he's not going to the guys you'd like to see him go to.
LSU has to get the ball in the hands of 82, Wendell Davis, or Raji McGee, number 80, their wide receivers. That's the key to their offense.
3rd and 9. Hodson may have to look for them now. He's got Sammy Martin coming out of the backfield. Pressure and overthrows Davis. Davis covered very well. And it was George Bethune, number 59, the linebacker.
Well, it's the same pattern as they ran last series on 3rd down. Wendell Davis is going to run a little crossing route. Put a little move upfield. Now stick him. But a good pass here, Mike. And that could have been a completion. You notice it was behind him. He had a step or 2 on the defender. If he catches that ball and turn it upfield, it's a big play because they had the zones deep. The safeties were deep. He could have cut that upfield and made a big play out of it.
4th and 9, and Matt DeFrank will punt to Richardson again. Pretty punt. Richardson at his 28. Can't get to the picket line, and he will get a 1-yard return after a 45-yard punt. ESPN's live presentation of CFA football continues next week when Georgia visits Auburn in another key Southeastern Conference showdown. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, with Chris Berman, Larry Burnett, and Vino Cook, and the Mercury College Football Scoreboard Show. Shula is only 6 out of 6, 52 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. We have 16 seconds left to go in the quarter. Clay Whitehurst, number 82, in at flanker. Bell is out on 1st and 10. And Shula again on 1st down wants to throw. Over the middle of Bell. Bell came back in and Richardson went out. Check in with Larry Burnett for a scoreboard update. Larry?
All right, Mike, Arizona State moving even closer to their first Rose Bowl. Second quarter, they stopped Cal, then Jeff Van Raphorst up top to Bruce Hill, 63 yards for the touchdown. It is now 28-0. Van Raphorst has thrown 3 TDs in the first half.
2nd and 10 for Alabama from their own 30. Shula with the draw to Humphrey. Breaks a couple of tackles. Gets out to the 37-yard line. Tommy Clapp, number 97, slowed him down. There is a flag on the play, and it's going to be a hold against the Crimson Tide. Ray Perkins after that first Southeastern Conference championship. Here's another one of the guys that had followed a legend, obviously, in Bear Bryant, maybe the greatest legend in the history of college football. Tough position to be in, but you know how many guys wanted that job at Alabama?
Well, I think it had to be easier, though, than being the head coach in the New York Giants.
Yeah.
New York all over him. I know he was happy to come back, but you're right, Mike. He had a tough transition. This year they're doing very well. If they can get to the Sugar Bowl, I think he can replace that legend.
There is Guidry on the sideline. He is warming up because Hodgson has not had, and there they are together, has not had a big first quarter. Thrown the ball behind Wendell Davis a couple of times, and it's hurt the offense. That's the end of the first quarter here in Birmingham. Our score, Alabama 7 and LSU nothing.
Announcing the Valvoline 4-Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil.
Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
No battery has the energy to outrun the Energizer, even in a toy robot.
It's a run, 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 it's a run, run. The Energizer. It's a run, 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 it's a run, run.
No battery outruns the Energizer.
Fact. Without money, many of the best things in life are unattainable. Fact. You insure to protect. You invest to grow. When you're not sure where to invest, knowing about Kemper helps. Ask a securities broker about the investment products of Kemper Financial Services. Mutual funds, money market funds, unit trusts, life insurance and annuities, real estate. Kemper Financial Services, a concern for your future. Gateway Conference Offensive Power, Northern Iowa pounds it out against Indiana State. Live Thursday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
It's a uniform of the day.
Overall, I'd say it's a good-looking outfit.
You didn't say that, did you?
Go, Bama,
But our director, Mark Payton, looks like every weekend in the truck, except his is orange. 2nd and 20. Humphrey goes in motion. Shovel to Allen. Well, you just had the feeling with Alabama's offensive philosophy that it would be a screen or a draw. In this case, it was a shovel, which is the same thing.
Like we said earlier, they're not that difficult to scout or to read. They're just difficult to stop.
No, if you execute, you can have the most basic game plan in the world. As long as you do it right, you win.
The optimum thing is to get a holding penalty on them, make it 1st and 20.
Yeah. And this is where Alabama doesn't want to be in 3rd and long, where they need to throw the football. Shula checks with his guard, Bill Condon, on the snap count. He's back to throw. Pressure. Screen to Humphrey. 41-yard line. 1st down, Alabama.
Well, Alabama runs a screen as well as anybody in the country. They have such good linemen. And in this play, one of the key blocks is actually going to be by the center, 54 West Neighbors. You'll see right here in screen now, he's going to go out of your picture. Shula drops back, barely gets this ball off. And Humphreys will take it upfield, and later, Neighbors is going to throw a devastating block right there. Took out 2 guys, and Neighbors almost broke that play for touchdown. Another penalty, though.
But a penalty is going to bring it back. And it's another hold against Alabama. So that wipes out a big play. Another thing to watch for Humphrey. Humphrey carries out fakes. He hasn't done it yet tonight, as well as any back I've ever seen. If they fake to him going over the top, I mean, he just goes in there and sells that thing.
And that's why their play action works so well. And Shula hides the ball behind his leg very well also. You don't see that often in quarterbacks anymore.
So now it's 3rd and 23. Well, Shula uses every bit of ability that he has. And they'll go conservative with Allen. And Allen will only pick up a couple out to about the 22-yard line. And it's Eric Hill, number 54, the outside linebacker, who gets credit for the stop, and it's going to be 4th and long, and bring on Chris Moore, number 5, who's averaging 41 yards a kick.
That's one way to stop Alabama's offense. Get the referees to call 2 holding calls on them.
And that's Norman Jefferson, number 12, the injured cornerback, who is back to return the punt. Usually it's Alvin Lee. And they came after Moore and didn't get there. And boy, he put that one up there a mile. LSU will start from its own 38-yard line after a 42-yard punt. Timeout here in Birmingham, 7-0.
When me and my buddies head off to West Texas, nothing works like my Chevy S10 Maxi Cab 4x4. With Instatrack 4-wheel drive, the optional off-road suspension, it can take us to the wildest place in the West. The Terlingua Chili Cook-Off. Come and get it! Good, huh? Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing.
Pure, natural glass protects the goodness and taste you want for your baby. And with recyclable glass, you can see that the good things that come in glass come just as their maker intended. Brought to you by the people who make glass containers naturally.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by GMAC, the financial services people from General Motors.
Back at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, where Mickey Guidry will come into quarterback. Now, remember, fellas, in our first game of the year with LSU, or their first game of the year, Mickey Guidry came in and promptly led the team down with a 72-yard touchdown pass. He's in now for Tommy Hodgson because they've been taking Wendell Davis away. They feel he can make the reads on Bennett.
Guidry is completing almost 68% of his passes this year. And they'll give it off to Fuller out to about the 43-yard line. Fuller, freshman, 203 pounds.
You know, a lot of people might question the move of putting a quarterback in. You know, they determined before the game they'll put him in either late in the first quarter or early second quarter. But not only is Mickey Guidry a good quarterback himself, but it gives them an opportunity on the sidelines to talk to Tom Hodgson, who's only a freshman quarterback, settle him down, and get ready for the next series.
2nd and 5, LSU. Jean-Baptiste and Fuller, 44 and 33 are the running backs. Fuller again. Really took a shot. Number 56, Greg Gilbert, stood him up. And then George Bethune, number 59, helped out on the stop. Gilbert and Davis, 56 and 58, the Alabama linebackers, don't get a lot of the credit because of Cornelius Bennett, but they are 1-2 on this team in tackles.
Well, they are. They make a lot of plays, and part of that is because they really play a 5-2 defense. They're in the middle, they're in the action, and Cornelius Bennett gets double-teamed wherever he goes, and it opens up the lanes for them, and they make the plays.
3rd and 3, big play for LSU. They'd like to establish something on offense. Fuller's on a wing. Davis over the middle, and he's got it. Davis to the 45-yard line of Alabama and a first down. It's the same pattern Davis has run 3 times in a row, but the difference was the quarterback.
This time they delivered the ball. Guidry got the ball to him. Davis runs these routes very well. He's very confident. He'll just take his time. One of the keys to this play is let the other guy clear deep for you, his other receiver, and then just find the opening and turn the ball upfield right now. That's exactly what a good receiver does. That's how come he picked up the first down. Nice pass by Guidry.
The ball just outside the Alabama 45-yard line. And Guidry on the draw to Jean-Baptiste. Breaks a tackle, 30-yard line, 25-yard line for Garland Jean-Baptiste. Big play for the Tigers. And he's going to be a little slow getting up this time. It was the longest run he's had this year. Cornelius Bennett was in on the stop, a 22-yarder. That is the longest run from scrimmage in 1986 for Garland Jean-Baptiste.
Well, one thing we said coming in tonight because LSU needs to get the ball up the middle. Right there, Jarvis, 95. Went around. He guesses on the center. He's going to get burned on some plays. He'll make big plays on other plays. The rest of it's Batiste here. Excellent running. He's a big, strong kid. You can't hit him on the thighs. You got to take him down. But the key to that play was the nose guard, 95, Kurt Jarvis. He is all SEC, but he gambles all the time. He guesses on which side of the center he's going to go. If they find the other side, it's a big play just like that.
And the difference between other nose guards is it's 7-0 LSU trailing Alabama with 11:21 to go in the first half. Back to the question I was asking you was one of the Alabama players is down, and that's Freddie Robinson, all SEC cornerback. He had an interception in the first quarter. Most nose guards do not guess. They try to stand up the opposing blocker. Usually they have to take on two.
Well, that's exactly what they'll do from LSU. Henry Thomas, 96, he'll take the guy on, ride him. We saw it earlier in the play. He tries to contain the guard or the center or both of them and let the linebackers make the play. On the other hand, Jarvis, he is all SEC, and part of it is because he gambles, he makes big plays. I think he's thrown 9 plays different for losses this year, so he's going to be in the backfield a lot, but he's also going to get hurt.
Garland Jean-Baptiste comes to the sideline, and it's 1st and 10, Mickey Harris. This is Williams to the 10. It's another first down. Got a new fullback in there, Jay Egloff, 36, who led the blocking.
Mickey Guidry working some magic again. It's a beautiful option. Oh, what a nice toss. Williams with the one-hand catch. Beautiful lead block. The rest is just speed. But Mickey Guidry is running the offense to perfection. Nice passes, nice pitch on that play. Boy, you need a substitute quarterback like that.
4 carries, 16 yards for Williams. 1st and 10, LSU. Williams diving to the 5. And it was Ricky Thomas, number 34, who had to make the stop. As you take a look at Bill Arnsparger, who was 22, 7, and 2 in his 3rd year. That's only 74%. 2nd down, goal to go, just outside the 5, and there is Ray Perkins.
They'd be in trouble if he was at Texas, though. 75% they want to fire. 74% is good enough in LSU.
That's right. Jean-Baptiste back in at fullback with Williams on 2nd and goal outside the 5. Mickey Guidry, the reserve quarterback, is in there. Williams following Jean-Baptiste. Gets maybe to the 4-yard line. Greg Gilbert, number 56, the first man to hit him.
This is one of the biggest problems LSU has had this year. They lost the game to Miami because they had turnovers, but they lost to Ole Miss last year because they couldn't put the ball in the end zone in the red zone. They got inside the 20-yard line. They're just not big and strong in that offensive line, and with their backs, Harvey Williams, the tailback, he's their biggest and strongest runner. I think you'd have to go with a play action or something, get outside, because they're just not big enough up front.
It's 3rd and goal. And they've got 2 tight ends in there. Big number 99, Oliver Lawrence, the linebacker, comes in as the 2nd tight end in these situations.
Look for a crossing route right here, Mike.
Williams in motion. Guidry under pressure.
Touchdown.
He can run it in. Guidry, touchdown, LSU. Mickey Guidry of LSU gets his first running touchdown of the season. It's 7-6, and David Browndyke, the left-footed sidewinder, will come on to try to tie it up. And does.
Well, let's look at this touchdown again. Just an excellent read by Mickey Guidry. Sometimes the best reads as a quarterback are to keep the ball. In this case, he ran a crossing route. They took the tight end across. There's nobody left on the left side. Your right side of your screen. Ran it in easily. And that's a veteran quarterback. A lot of times a young quarterback will force that ball.
9 minutes, 12 seconds to go. First half of play from Birmingham. We're tied at 7.
I own a PC and a VCR, a condo on the beach, and my own company. But I don't own a car. I lease with GMAC. For me, leasing was smarter than buying. It's just good money management. And since I worked out the terms with my GM dealer, I can pay less each month. It was easy. Now I've got the new car I want, and leasing frees up my money for other things.
GMAC Leasing, only at your GM dealer. For you, it just might be smarter than buying.
strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdale has been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste that only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste. Because this Bud's for you.
Mickey Guidry, the backup quarterback who led LSU to a 62-yard touchdown drive, and they've tied it up 7-7. LSU will now kick it away with 9:12 to go in the first half, and the dangerous deep man is Bobby Humphrey. But Humphrey won't have a chance to touch it as the ball goes through the end zone, and Alabama will start from its own 20-yard line. Now, Pat, they've been throwing the ball on first down more than I can remember seeing Alabama all this year. Why?
Well, if you look at the tendencies, I talked to the LSU's defensive coordinators, and the problem is LSU this year has a tendency of playing zone on first down. Obviously, Alabama picked that up. They know that LSU is just dropping back, and they're just going to dump those short little passes. That's good coaching. That's using the computers.
Sure is. Good scouting. First and 10, the Tide from their own 20. Shula has been absolutely perfect. This is Bell in motion. Humphrey found a little seam and got about 4 yards out of it. Number 52, Ron Sancho, get on the tackle. And last scoring drive went 62 yards, 8 plays, 3 minutes, 56 seconds, and Guidry made up the play on 3rd and goal. A little sandlot football, sometimes that's what works. Gene Jelks, number 22, will come into the ball game for Alabama at tailback, and Humphrey will go out. Jelks averaging 6.2 yards a carry. They'll like to use him too. Allen is the fullback, and this is Jelks. And he is nailed. Drilled by Carl Wilson. All SEC candidate at right end. The big senior out of Baton Rouge.
He missed a tackle earlier when he tried to tackle with one arm, but this time he put his shoulders, his helmet, and his whole body into this play. He'll just play off the block. Right there. A nice little arm over action, and now he'll just take him right down. There's no way a tailback's can run over Carl Wilson.
And Gene Jelks has got to be saying, where were all the holes I saw when I was standing on the sideline?
They're in his jersey right now.
It's cleat marks. 3rd and 6. Jelks goes in motion. Shula likes his little short patterns, dumps it off to Bell, and Bell. And the official will give him the mark across the 30-yard line. It will be enough for a first down, but there is a flag down as Willie Bryant in on the tackle for LSU.
Now, they were offside. They jumped early on that count. Shula did a nice job with his cadence.
Interesting mark there. They gave the forward progress to Bell, where I think his lead foot was, and gave him enough for the first down.
It's definitely a questionable mark, but I think they'll take it because it's going to give them a first down.
Yeah. And it is offside against LSU. They'll decline it.
Robert Bell is a threat deep, and he has so much speed. He's so dynamite deep that he has an easy time on this type pattern. Just a little run up. Now watch him. He'll break away from Carrier. He has a read right there. He's double teamed, but he did an excellent job of reading the 2 defenders and breaking away from him.
And I guess he was over the 30. My apologies. Throw it to the tight end, Stafford. Stafford buried, but he gets it out to the 43-yard line, Oliver Lawrence. And Chris Carrier. Take a look at some scores, and Auburn is laying it on Cincinnati. You know, they had to let Cincinnati play a couple of junior college teams with all the heavyweights they take on. In the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Florida beats Georgia and knocks them out of the race for the SEC. Kentucky over Vanderbilt, 34-22. Another final. Tennessee, big over Memphis State. Alabama facing 1st and 10 now. And Shula with a great fake crosses midfield. Oliver Lawrence makes the tackle. Shula very, very deceptive.
Well, there's that nice little bootleg we talked about earlier. He's going to fake the ball to the back. The back will run it out. He just hides it behind his leg. Very clever quarterback. I don't know if it's true what they say, that he had a projector in his crib when he was a kid, but it sure looks like it here. He hides it from the defenders, and they don't see him until he's 9 yards down the field.
Maybe we can ask his dad at halftime. Don Shula, the great head coach of the Miami Dolphins, will be on live with us. He coaches the way his son plays quarterback. He gets the most out of what he has. And unfortunately for the Dolphins this year, they aren't overladen with talent. Allen down to about the 46-yard line. Eric Hill, 54, tripped him up. Hill out of Galveston, Texas. It is a first down for Alabama at the LSU 46-yard line. You surprised at all that Alabama's been able to move the ball so well on the ground? That's been LSU's strength.
Well, they mix it up with those passes, though. They came out, they established the fact they're going to throw early on first downs. They loosened up the LSU's defense, and that puts a lot more pressure on them to stop that running game.
1st and 10. Shula may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage as LSU shows a 5-man front. Wants to throw again. Deep sideline. He's got Richardson. Richardson at the 13-yard line. Chris Carrier knocked him down, but Shula put it on the numbers.
Well, it was a matter of time. They had to go up top. They've been setting it up with a lot of short routes. First down pass again, play action. Richardson's isolated right here. Little down and out pattern. Now just take off. And this is an excellent throw because he beats a double coverage. The safety will come into your picture right there, Carrier. But he dropped it right between the corner and the safety. They say his arm isn't good enough, but there's no one in the world that could throw a better pass than that one.
That's right. And Shula is pumped up. He has hit 10 out of 11, 111 yards and a touchdown. And downfield, where he's been criticized for not throwing enough, he's 5 out of 6 for 82 yards. So he's done the job. Shula to throw again on first down. Looks for the end zone. Intercepted. It's picked off by Greg Jackson, the safety. And that was the first bad pass Shula has thrown tonight, and that one was simply overthrown.
Well, he had Angelo Stafford open on this play, Mike. He tried to go to the tight end, the big 6'5" kid in the end zone. It just went off his hand wrong, went deep. And it was an easy interception for Jackson, but this is definitely an error. Again on first down, they go back, play action. Just threw the ball. You just can't throw into double coverage that often.
Shula with his 12th interception of the season.
Shula will get hit after this play, too. That's why he lifts weights in the offseason.
LSU back in action from the 20-yard line. And they'll give it to Sammy Martin, and Sammy Martin is buried in the backfield, and Randy Rockwell and Kurt Jarvis make the stop. Hodson is back in. There's Jackson. Makes his 3rd interception. Now, this is really strange. Hodson back in the quarterback. Again, we commented on this in the Texas A&M game. Guidry played absolutely perfectly. He did everything you could possibly ask a quarterback, and now he's sitting on the bench again.
Now, that's a tough one to read right there. I think I'd have stuck with him another series at least.
Well, especially in this game, since Hodson has had some problems, and I know you said at one point you thought he might be a little nervous. He's 2 out of 7, 19 yards, 1 interception. He's missed 5 in a row. Guidry came in. He did everything you could hope for.
Well, I think that LSU came in with an excellent game plan. They've been able to get the receivers, particularly Wendell Davis, open on those crossing routes, and quite frankly, Hodson just missed him a couple times on big plays. Guidry came in, hit him perfectly, didn't miss a pass, and made an excellent read and run for a touchdown. I'm a little surprised Bill Arnsparger would come back with Hodson.
Here's Mike Shula on the sideline. We'll be talking to his father from his home in Miami live at halftime.
I'm sure he'll have a future as a coach if he does make it in the pros.
Sure. Quarterback. Martin and Egloff, the running backs, behind Hodson. Egloff is in there for Garland. Jean-Baptiste, who was shaken up a little bit earlier, came back for one play, is now out again. 2nd and 12, LSU. Hodson to throw. And it's complete to Martin, and Martin over the 30, first down. Good toss that time by Hodson, who has had over 250 yards showing his last 3 games, and may be the best freshman quarterback in the country.
But coming into the, he had all kinds of problems last year with his arm. He had to sit it out as a redshirt. But coming into the season, Bill Arnsparger told us before that first game he could be a big-time player. And I think maybe that series with that he sat on the sideline with Guidry directing him may be the thing he needed to settle him down.
That was one of the reasons they said they were going to do that, so the quarterback could stand on the sideline and determine what was going on out there. Martin cuts it back and pulled down as he got to the 33-yard line. Almost got away from Cliff Thomas. The big number 99 got some help from Rockwell. Martin almost broke that. We saw him with a big play in the Texas A&M game, and that was when Guidry was in at quarterback, read a blitz, and hit Martin, and he went 66 yards for the score. Martin so far tonight, and they like to get the ball to him. 5 carries, 5 yards rushing. but 3 receptions for 32. So Martin, a big part of that LSU offense. 2nd and 8. Draw play. Garland Jean-Baptiste back in the ball game. First down. Running hard out to the 47-yard line and dragging Ricky Thomas with him. And Garland Jean-Baptiste has ripped off a couple of beauties. That time he followed big number 75, John Hazard.
So here's the draw play again. You're going to see the nose guard, 98, Willie White, is going to guess. There he goes. He's going to guess left. Look at how wide open that hole is. Now they're going to come and they're going to block Cornelius Bennett. Well, the referee did a good job right there. It's wide open, but again, that guessing nose guard, if they can guess themselves at LSU on offense and run the right way on that draw, it's going to be big plays.
3 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the half. LSU trying to take the lead. Jean-Baptiste again near midfield, make it the 49-yard line. Cornelius Bennett in on the stop again for Alabama, along with Cliff Thomas, 99.
Well, we haven't talked about Cornelius Bennett in a while now. They've been keeping him out of the plays. Let's watch him on this play. Low angle. He's right here and right in your screen. Look at the pursuit he has. One reason he's so respected around the country, and he's not just one of those guys with reputation that isn't earned. He hustles all over the field. Plays 110%, which sounds like a cliche, but a lot of times he gets frustrated because he doesn't get to make the tackles, but he's always around the ball.
I hate that 110% thing. You can't do that. Hodson back to throw. Over the middle, and it's complete to Kinchin, his tight end at the 44-yard line. Very close to another first down.
He's a 98% player, Mike, and I'll tell you, he's always yearning to get the extra 2%.
All right, you got me. Kinchin makes the catch, and Hodson, after coming back off the bench after Guidry ran a series and got a touchdown, looks very, very good, and they will measure for the first down. Hodson missed all of last year. They had to do surgery on the ulnar nerve in his right arm. And apparently, the surgeon will be much in demand because he did a great job. And it's a first down, LSU, with 2:38 to go in the half. Very good ball control offense to run.
Right now, they are running the ball. They're moving it well, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action here and go up top. I think Raji McGee is going to eventually be open because they're concentrating on Wendell Davis so heavily.
It's the shot from the SeaWorld airship. First network television shot. Got a nice look. Garland Jean-Baptiste again. And he will get down to the 32-yard line. Jean-Baptiste has run very well up the middle in this ball game.
It's excellent coaching, Mike. They came into the ball game. They knew that they could take advantage of that nose guard, and that's the best play. Nacho Albergamo, which is beyond being a great name. The guy can play football, their center. He's doing an excellent job of just letting the nose guard take his side, and he just goes with him. Macho Nacho.
It's a tough time when they order at Mexican restaurants. He always thinks everybody's looking for him. Nacho? Hodson under pressure. And he will run it to the sideline.
Oh, late hit there, Mike. They took him out of bounds. That was 8 yards beyond. That was almost in the bench. Silly, silly hit.
Yep.
Hodson likes it, though.
Not the kind of play you want to see from your defense.
That was ridiculous.
Well, there's late and there's late.
Actually, Hodson does a nice job here of not throwing that ball. He didn't force it. Now he runs out of bounds, and he's 8 or 9 yards out of bounds before he gets hit.
That's Greg Gilbert, number 56, the leading tackler.
There comes Cornelius Bennett. He's going to try to run him down. He's actually being held there. Look at that. Tackle's got him. He tackles him. He almost makes the play. That's why LSU's taking those short 3 to 5 step drops. They know Bennett's going to rush outside to let the tackle hold him in that case, or push him wide, and then the quarterback's underneath the rush.
Well, the hit by Gilbert just uncalled for, and it cost him a few yards down to the Alabama 20, 1st and 10 LSU. This is Williams. And a nice roll block tackle over there by Chris Good, number 36 out of Town Creek, Alabama. Tim Brando at the sideline with an update for us. Timmy.
Mike and Pat, I know you were both talking about the Hodson and Guidry situation. What they got on that last series from Guidry was exactly what they wanted. They don't like to use Hodson in the option series. They'd rather have Guidry run that. So now they got Alabama's respect outside. They bring Hodson back in the game. The short drops and the little dink patterns over the middle, and Harvey Williams does it for them.
Thank you, Tim. It's 2nd and 8, LSU. Hodson dumps it over the middle, complete to Davis. Davis to the Alabama 5. Wendell Davis, averaging 8.5 catches a ball game, #1 in the nation, has been eating up the middle.
Just watch the Alabama secondary on this play. They're going to drop off. That's what they've been doing all night. In a deep zone. And 82, Wendell Davis, right in the middle of your screen, just comes right underneath it, splits the defenders, and picks up the first down.
1 minute to go in the first half of play from Birmingham. Timeout on the field. We're tied 7-7.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
When you've got what it takes, put yourself in today's Chevrolet Celebrity Euro Sport and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. Today's Chevrolet.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
LSU defensive lineman Roland Barbet joins the fight against drugs.
Participating in sports, whether on a college or professional level, seems to be a one-time thing. It's a very enjoyable experience, and I've liked it a lot. I feel very blessed to be a part of it. I think there's one thing that can really cut your time short is participating in drugs. Drugs really do not have a place in sports, and I think it's really not worth the time or the effort to try experience with them.
The preceding brought to you by the College Football Association.
1 minute left, first half. LSU with a first and goal at the Alabama 5-yard line. Bill Arnsparger has seen his team come back from down 7-0. Ray Perkins is wondering what happened. It looked like his club was going to go in for a touchdown. They threw an interception, and LSU is marching the ball back down their throat, going for the lead. 2 tight ends and a wingback. And they'll give it to Fuller, and he falls and loses a yard. Eddie Fuller simply tripped and fell down in his own backfield. It'll be second and goal. LSU with 2 timeouts left. Alabama has all of its 3. Sam Martin will come back in the ballgame. They're just letting the clock run. They're in no danger of using it all up. After all, they still have the 2 timeouts left. Second and goal from the 6. Once again, a tight formation. Hodson to throw. Touchdown, Davis. Pat, very interesting out of that formation because they had a tight formation and they gave the quarterback enough time to find Davis on a pattern that had to be delayed. And this is Brown Dyke for the point after. Dead perfect, and it's 14-7.
When you're not big enough to run the ball over people when you're inside the 10-yard line, the best thing you can do is an early down, second down, first second down, play action right here. They ran a crossing route. The 2 tight ends picked people, not illegally, and then they found Wendell Davis crossing in the back of the end zone. Nice throw by Hodson. He's really come in and settled down.
He really has, and Bill Arnsparger made the decision to send him back in the ballgame after Mickey Gibney had led them to a touchdown. It's LSU right now by 7.
Good times coming, TV Guide says, take a look at what's in store. What's in store for you in every issue of TV Guide is a real insider's look at what's on the air and in the air on network, local, cable, and pay TV. Every week, TV Guide cues you into the best of the coming attractions so you can preview all the fun, fantasy, and fascinating real-life drama ahead. So take advantage of this special offer and call now.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200. Get 30 exciting issues of TV Guide for 3 easy monthly payments of just $5.75 each.
You'll enjoy the convenience of home delivery, and you can't beat the price. What are you waiting for? Do it now, okay? Good times coming, TV Guide says, and TV Guide says call today.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200.
The Soviet national basketball squad meets an American powerhouse, Georgia Tech, live Wednesday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
The view of a sold-out Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, from the SeaWorld airship making its network television debut for ESPN, captained by Jim Dexter of Severna Park, Maryland. And LSU will kick it away with 25 seconds left. The kick by Ron Lewis. Humphrey at the 3. Excuse me, that's Kerry Good and not Humphrey. Kerry Good, number 35, and he brings it back to the 22. Timeout with 19 seconds left. We'll be back after this.
You're on the 10 o'clock American flight?
The meeting's this afternoon.
Seems like you're busier than ever. Dad, I'm glad you could stop by.
Wish I had more time. Now, when did you say you were planning on coming home again?
Not until the end of the term.
You know, I don't think I can wait that long.
When you're something special, people know it.
This is an AT&T Long Distance Command Center where our engineers make sure your calls go right through. It's a unique system only AT&T can bring you, with thousands of ways to get from here to there. And there are 7 more centers like it, because we're not about to take chances that busy circuits could keep you waiting.
Well, she definitely has my hair.
For over 100 years, when you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way. AT&T, the right choice.
Stay with us at halftime. Coming up, we'll have an interview with Miami Dolphin head coach Don Shula live from his home in Miami. Larry and Bino will update all the scores. They'll also have a special feature on the West's hottest team, the unbeaten Arizona State Sun Devils, and we'll have first half highlights of this ball game. 19 seconds left. I think you can look for Alabama to do something conservative here, a little swing, draw.
Run the ball right up the middle.
And you got it. It's not a bad play with Humphrey, but it's not going to get you 85 yards. And Alabama seems content to let the clock run out here, and they're trailing 14-7. And some of the fans, the partisan faithful here in Birmingham, not too fond of the idea, but that's about the only thing Ray Perkins can do. Why take a chance? Now the clock stops with 7 seconds, and it's LSU. And now they let the clock restart. And I don't know why they stopped it in the first place. So that is the end of the first half here in Birmingham. LSU with a lead over Alabama, 14-7. Now let's go to Bristol, Connecticut, our studios, and Larry Burnett.
Thank you very much, Mike. Good game going on at Legion Field. We've got an action-packed halftime for you here on the MetLife Halftime Report. We'll be talking live with Don Shula from his home in Miami. We'll also have a special feature on Arizona and Arizona State. The Sun Devils look like they're going to wrap up a shot into the Rose Bowl tonight in their game with California. We'll do that. We'll run down the top 20 scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the MetLife Halftime Report, so stay with us.
Announcing the Valvoline 4-Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil.
Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
In the trucking business, you learn very quickly not to take anything for granted.
Professional truck driver Ken Harrison.
What's ahead? Over the hill or around the next curve? That's what you're always thinking about. You check it, because you have to know it's working. If it's not working, it's not safe. And if it's not safe, it doesn't belong on the road. That's the way it has to be, because nobody pays me to drive. They pay me to deliver safely.
Smile.
The easy goes to 35 for pictures to come alive.
35 millimeter? It's easy.
Kodak VR 35.
Ta-da!
You just drop the film in. It almost loads itself. Then aim and shoot.
Have you ever seen a sharper baby picture? I have.
Whichever one you want to choose, we've got the 35 for you. Kodak VR 35.
It's a great shot.
Nothing to it.
Come get the best of the USA. Come out and play the American way. Las Vegas in every way. It's the American way to play.
Back here at halftime, Beano Cook will be joining me in just a bit for some comments. But first, let's start running down the top 20. Top-ranked Miami went to Pittsburgh. A lot of people thought it was the last obstacle in the way of a possible national championship. Didn't turn out to be too much of an obstacle. Vinny Testaverde with 4 TD passes. Miami wins it by the score of 37-10. Number 2, Michigan took on Purdue, and Michigan wins it big, 31-7. They have now won 15 straight. That's the nation's longest unbeaten streak in major college football. Maryland against Penn State. Boy, it was a close one, just like the score indicates. Maryland scored with 14 seconds left in the game, went for a 2-point conversion. They did not get it. They lose it by the score of 17-15. Penn State still undefeated. Oklahoma, ooh, this is a real score, 77-0. The Sooners with 681 yards on the ground. Now, number 5, Arizona State, is playing California in Tempe tonight. They were leading 28-0 at halftime, and here is the second half kickoff. That's Bruce Hill, picks it up on his own 4, and you guessed it. He is going all the way, 96 yards with the kickoff return. ASU is leading at 35-0. If they go on to win that game, they will be in the Rose Bowl for the first time ever, and it certainly looks as though they are on their way to the Roses. All right, the next game we're going to take a look at is Nebraska, a winner over Iowa State today. Steve Taylor had a couple of TDs in that one for the Huskers. They're up to 8-1. Texas A&M is idle. They'll next play Arkansas. Cincinnati took on number 9 Auburn today, and Auburn wins it 52-7. Brent Fullwood, 120 yards rushing and 1 TD pass in that game. Arkansas and Baylor in action today. Baylor's defense was aroused in a close game in the second half. Gary Joe Kinney gets to Arkansas quarterback Greg Thomas, puts him down. Baylor broke the game open, leading 22-14. Here it is in the fourth quarter. Derek McAdoo with a super run here. He breaks tackles and scores the touchdown. Baylor won it 29-14. So the road is paved now for Texas A&M to head into the Cotton Bowl. Of course, A&M will have to play Arkansas next week, but that game has lost a lot of its luster. Number 11, Washington, going against Oregon State. They won that one. Chris Chandler, a couple of 2 TD passes in that one. Stanford knocked off UCLA. Brad Muster, 183 yards rushing for the Cardinal. Northwestern, you guessed it, they lost to Ohio State, 30-9 the final there. Vince Workman had 123 yards in that one. Number 14, USC idle. They'll play California next. Number 15, North Carolina State, lost to Virginia by the score of 20-16. Arizona, a winner over Washington State, 31-6. It was Iowa falling to Illinois in Big Ten play today. Iowa now 3-3 in the conference. Nevada-Reno, our number 19 team, remains undefeated as they come up with a 21-16 victory. And it was Florida, a winner over Georgia today. Kerwin Bell had 3 TD passes in that one, the final 31-19. We're going to be coming back. We'll be going to Miami for a chat with Miami Dolphins head coach and Mike Shula's father, Don, when we come back on the MetLife Halftime Report.
The MetLife Halftime Report is being brought to you by Metropolitan Life and affiliated companies. Get Met. It pays.
I never realized the world was so full of hazards. That's why there's a company like MetLife. Because sometimes things do get out of control. Hey! That's why over 43 million people look to Met to be there when things go wrong. That's why you should get Met. It pays.
Budweiser salutes all the men and women in uniform who proudly serve this great country.
This Bud's for you.
right, back here at halftime, we're going down to Florida now, to Miami Lakes, Florida, where Don Shula is standing by at his home. We're going to get some reactions from him on the first half of that game against LSU tonight. Coach, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you got a busy schedule, but you've been watching that game. What are your impressions of the first half?
Well, the first quarter was near perfect if you're an Alabama fan and Mike Shula's father. But the second quarter, they ran into some problems, and, of course, the interception really hurt them. And the Alabama defense doesn't seem to be putting on the pressure on the LSU quarterbacks. LSU is doing a good job of alternating the quarterbacks, and they're mixing the run and the pass, and they're coming up with the big completions when they have to have them. So I'm sure that Bill Arnsberger is very happy to go in at halftime in Birmingham, being ahead 14-7. Alabama's got to get it together and come out with a strong second half.
You mentioned Bill Arnsberger. He used to be your defensive coordinator down there. You know his defensive tendencies. Have you had any chats with Mike about what he might expect from the LSU defense?
Well, you know that they're going to be very solid. They're not going to give you anything cheap, and that's pretty much what it looks like, is they're playing a containing type of defense, and you have to go underneath the coverage. And Mike was doing a good job, and the Alabama pass offense was doing a good job. And I was very happy that they were mixing in some passes on first down, because they don't throw a lot at Alabama on first down, and it helps when you can mix it in. They got to get the running game going. The running game hasn't been near as good as it's been in the past.
Don, when Mike was a senior, was he sought after by many schools?
There were about 5 schools, Bino, that were actively interested in him. And LSU was one of the schools. And he made a decision based on the fact that he knew that Perkins was going to run a pro-type offense at Alabama, and that they could possibly, with the athletes that they recruit, have a chance at the national championship. And this year they really had it going, and then Penn State ruined that hope. So now their hope, of course, is the SE championship game and a place in the Sugar Bowl.
Coach, do you think the Shula name has been a blessing, or has it been a little bit of a harness for Mike in the college game?
I think it's half and half. You get some notoriety that you wouldn't get otherwise. Some doors are open to you, but you have to go out and do it yourself. Too much has been said about Mike being around Greasy and being around quarterbacks and being on the sideline. When the ball snapped up there in Birmingham tonight, Mike's out there all by himself, and he's got to get it done. And he's really worked hard for this opportunity. He's had some ups and downs. He's been able to get over the low spots, and he's come back. He's a real fighter. I'm very, very proud of him.
Don, very quickly, we've got to get moving on, but Mike has expressed an interest in possibly going into coaching down the line. Would you encourage that?
Oh, yes. I think that Mike would be an excellent coach. He's been brought up around football. Dave now is one of my assistants, my older boy. He's a assistant head coach, and he's doing an excellent job. And Mike, of course, would like a shot at pro ball and give that an opportunity, and then someday the possibility of coaching.
Coach, we appreciate you joining us. Hope you enjoy the second half of the game, and good luck Monday night against Cleveland.
I hope I enjoy the second half, too.
We'll find out. Don Shula with us. We appreciate him joining us from his home in Miami. We're coming back, and we'll take a special look at the Pac-10 and the Arizona teams when the MetLife Halftime Report continues.
What's happening? The world-famous MetLife representative is adding new recruits to his prompt payment squadron. You mean the one that makes sure MetLife claim checks get delivered promptly? Yes, it's very important. Snoopy is really getting tough with his new recruits, isn't he? Only the best will do for MetLife customers. What happens to the birds who don't make it into the prompt payment squadron? They go into advertising. Get Met, it pays.
Ramada wants to know what makes John Madden mad.
Let's replay what happened the last time you tried to check out of a hotel. A slow desk clerk causes a 3-salesman pileup. Boom! You shift formations. Wow, the computer goes berserk. Then you get penalized 15 minutes for unnecessary charges. But don't get mad. Get Ramada. They do everything possible to make your checkout fast and smooth. So you won't get a delay again. Next time, Ramada.
Call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
Since I've been at LSU, I know more than ever what it takes to make a great university. The many programs, the research efforts, the tradition, and of course progress for the future. They're all important. They all make a university great. But you know, I find it's more than that. People make a great university. Here at LSU, people make the difference.
LSU, a great university.
Updating you again on that game in Tempe, Arizona. The Arizona State Sun Devils leading California by the score of 35-0. It is in the third quarter. If Arizona State wins, they will be in the Rose Bowl. Well, the Pac-10 had 5 teams in the ESPN Top 20 at the start of today's play. Then Stanford knocked off UCLA, so there are 6 teams in that conference with legitimate shots at bowl games this year. Now, most of the talk surrounding the Pac-10 has always been about the California teams. But this season, the Arizona teams are making the nation stand up and take notice.
I love you, Arizona. Your mountains, deserts, and streams.
The state of Arizona still draws lots of recognition for its sun and fun and palm trees, and yes, its cactus too. But these days, Arizona is drawing even more attention for its Wildcats and its Sun Devils, as in college football, state of Arizona style. The polls tell the story. Arizona State is number 5 on this week's ESPN Top 20, as well as on the AP and UPI polls. Arizona is number 16 after last week's loss to Southern Cal. The Cats have been ranked as high as 9th this season.
Well, it gives us a lot of recognition, and I think hopefully focuses some attention on a lot of other things about Arizona, the universities themselves, the academic programs they have, the business climate, the growth, the future. The success of these universities in football is one reflection of a real moving, can-do winner spirit that permeates all facets of life in this state.
Oh, I think for sure it helps the morale of the people because there's a sense of pride in the 2 universities and their athletic programs, and in this case, particularly football. And I think it helps us in terms of our recruiting. And I think it helps in terms of our businesses and the various enterprises that it helps attract people. So it all goes back to it's a sense of pride, and it helps morale.
Number 5 in the country right now, moving up. Moving up. Good feeling, isn't it?
Just as the weather in Tempe, the Arizona State football team has been red hot this season. Last week, the Devils dumped Washington. Earlier, they beat USC and UCLA on the road. No team had ever done that to the California schools in the same season. ASU has ridden a stingy defense and a controlled offense to a 7-0-1 record and a shot at their first Rose Bowl appearance.
2 things the people in this state want you to do is beat the University of Arizona and go to the Rose Bowl. And we had a good year last year, Larry, but we didn't accomplish either one of those objectives. So we've had a good year this year, but we're not there yet. We've got to go to the Rose Bowl. We've got to beat the University of Arizona 3 weeks from now.
I think we've got a definite possibility of making it. You know, it's all in our hands. If we win the rest of our games, we'll be there, and if not, we'll just have to hope a couple of breaks go our way.
Arizona State fans are already making plans to be in Pasadena on New Year's Day, but they were making similar plans about this time last year. Then it came down to the last game of the season. They had to play the University of Arizona Wildcats, and very quickly those Rose Bowl dreams turned into thorns. Arizona fans remember it fondly. State fans would just as soon forget it. The Sun Devils were up by 10 in the third quarter, and the scent of roses was strong. But a fumbled punt, a quarterback sack and fumble, and the foot of Max Zendejas tied the game. Zendejas capped it off with a 32-yard game winner with 1:27 left to play. UCLA got the roses, Arizona State got the Holiday Bowl, and Arizona went to the Sun Bowl, smiling all the way.
We really played our hard side, and I think it just came to us because we deserved the game.
Well, the last couple of years, a lot of great things have happened in the Pac-10, and we've learned through hard knocks, like I said before. Something always happens right at the end of the year that screws things up, and we just want to prevent that if we can.
Arizona State's fifth-year seniors have never beaten the Wildcats, and they're pretty tired of it. But they are closing in on their first Rose Bowl now, and that is creating a lot of excitement in Tempe.
We're the best unknown team in the nation.
Is that true?
Yeah!
Much of that enthusiasm came in a direct transfusion from Cooper. The man who played it tight to the vest at the University of Tulsa has been stirring things up for Sun Devil fans.
When I first came in here, I said, hey, let's have some fans like Arkansas has, like LSU has, like Nebraska has, like Oklahoma has. Get up off your fanny and make some noise and get involved. It's not my football team, it's our football team. So the first thing I did was grab me a gold towel and got to waving the towel and got the fans involved. They're involved now. I don't have to do it anymore, but if they're a little bit quiet and reserved, then John Cooper's going to do whatever it takes.
Cooper says coaching at Arizona State is simple. All you've got to do is beat Arizona and go to the Rose Bowl. This year, though, Sun Devil sights are set even higher.
Somebody's got to win the national championship. You know, why not us? It might as well be us. Some people thought I was crazy, but we've got the football talent. We've got the talent on this football team, and I think the assistant coaching on this football team and the fan support to win it. Now, we got to be lucky, but I've been lucky all my life. If I wasn't lucky, I wouldn't be the head football coach here now. So that's my attitude. That's my theme. Something good's got to happen, and hopefully it will happen.
And it looks as though it will happen. They're leading 35-0 over California. If they win, they'll be in the Rose Bowl. Let's take a look at the standings as they are right now in the Pac-10. And there you see Arizona State, the only undefeated team. Everybody else close to them is at 4-2. Interestingly enough, Arizona also won today. They beat Washington State 31-6, so they are now 7-2. The last team to beat UCLA, USC, and Washington was 1971 Stanford. They went on to beat an undefeated Michigan team in the Rose Bowl. We'll be back.
We're not a company.
But no company has more pride in what they do.
Or more pride in how well they do it.
We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future.
One that goes far beyond the ordinary.
One that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
True Value Hardware Stores, exclusive retailers of Harvard cutlery, are proud to present one of the great chefs of Chicago, Jean Banchet.
I demand the finest quality tools to prepare fine cuisine in my kitchen here at Le Français. And with Harvard cutlery, I get the superior quality and performance I need for preparing everything from truffle to venison. Harvard cutlery, professional quality knives, exclusively from True Value Hardware Stores.
Gateway Conference offensive power, Northern Iowa pounds it out against Indiana State. Live Thursday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
All right, our score at halftime, LSU leading at 14-7 over Alabama. The SEC riding on it at this point. Let's go back to Legion Field now in Birmingham. Tim Brando.
Thank you, Larry. LSU leading Alabama by a score of 14-7 here at Legion Field, and there are no seats here, believe me. Speaking of no seats available, coming up next week, there'll probably be none at Auburn. When on the plains of Auburn, Alabama, the Georgia Bulldogs take on Auburn, 7:30 Eastern Time, right here on ESPN. Now today, the Georgia Bulldogs were ahead up until the fourth quarter, then lost at Jacksonville. That's a great rivalry. The Florida Gators, who upset Auburn, of course, last week, did the number again. Galen Hall's team beat Vince Dooley's Dogs. It was a very close game. Now also, Cincinnati played Auburn. That was a blowout. Auburn got it done, and Brent Fullwood had another big day for Pat Dye's club. Now, halftime statistics will bear out in this ball game that it is a balanced attack, Mike and Pat. 2 of the completions for LSU come from Guidry, and that tandem of quarterbacks seems to be the key for them in this game to this juncture.
I think it really has, Tim, and the other key that I thought was the first half interception that Shula had in the end zone. It looked like Alabama was going to score easily.
Well, the one stat I see that's not on that board is that Cornelius Bennett had 1 tackle in the first half, and that's what LSU had to do, keep him away from the ball.
This is Ron Lewis. Used to be the man for placements. Now he will kick it away, and he is kicking to Bobby Humphrey, who is in the middle of the 3 deep. Good 35 and Doug Allen 46 back there with him. High short kick, and Good will let it go out of bounds at the 13-yard line. That will cost LSU 5 yards. Here's what Alabama was able to do in the first half. First drive, they went down to the LSU 27, but uncharacteristically missed a field goal the second time they got their hands on the ball. Remember, that was after a series of 3 punts. They drove 44 yards for a touchdown and their only score. The next 2 drives were stopped by a punt and an interception, respectively. The interception was the killer because they had gotten to the LSU 13-yard line, and then time ran out with Alabama in possession at halftime. And now Lewis will tee it up at the 30 and kick it again. Didn't get all of the last one. First series for each ball club, third quarter, very important.
Well, I think we're going to see Alabama come out. They're going to continue throwing those first down passes, but they're going to have to get some deeper ones. And they're going to have to score when they move the ball down. They can't afford to have those turnovers deep in LSU territory.
Humphrey, the deep man, now standing at the 5-yard line as Lewis approaches the ball. We're set to go third quarter. Low line drive kick, and Humphrey at the 9. Got a chance to the 41-yard line. A 32 kickoff, 32-yard kickoff return for Humphrey.
Returns 31 yards.
Mike Shula will bring out the Alabama offense. He was 10 out of 12 in the first half, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Got Humphrey and Allen behind him in the eye. Humphrey, the deep man. And back to throw on first down. Under pressure and throws incomplete, intended for Richardson at the sideline, and that was the pressure from the defensive line that caused that incompletion. Roland Barbay was the man who was on top of Mike Shula. And there is Bill Arnsparger. They are ahead at halftime, and there is their record when they are ahead, 14-2.
That's when he takes over with his defenses, if they have the lead.
Exactly right. 2nd and 10. Humphrey. And Humphrey trapped in the backfield, and big number 77, Roland Barbay, got him that time. Hung on and wouldn't let go.
Again, remember, at the beginning of the telecast, we talked about Henry Thomas. There he is. He was getting singled, and now he'll make the play, get in, and help on that tackle. But Barbay, 2 big plays already this half. He pressured the passer on the first play and got in and penetrated to make the tackle on that play.
Humphrey, only the 2nd Alabama running back, along with Johnny Musso, to go over 1,000 yards in the single season. Only has 38 yards rushing tonight. 3-man pressure on Shula, complete and dropped by Humphrey. Had it at the LSU 46 and couldn't hold it. That'll bring up 4th down. They'll have to punt it away.
Well, this is definitely a catchable ball. Mike Shula put this ball where he should have. Easy first down if he holds on. All they did was run Humphreys down. He ran a stop pattern. The defender was scared to go. He was wide open. He just dropped it.
Chris Moore, who got up a 42-yarder, his only other effort, will punt. There's Norman Jefferson. Deep to receive. He's standing at his 10. They don't come after him, and Moore gets away. A gorgeous punt. Let it go, and it hits in the end zone. He really unloaded on a 58-yarder in the air for Chris Moore. Here's what LSU was able to do when they had the ball in the first half. They started not well with an interception on the first drive at the Alabama 26. They had to punt the next 2 times they had the football, but the last 2 times they had it under 2 different quarterbacks, they were able to drive 4 touchdowns and take a 14-7 lead. And they will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line as they have their first possession of the third quarter.
Well, the key to that second drive for the touchdown, Mike, again, was that penalty, the personal foul. Gave him a first down to about the 15.
Hodson, 6 out of 11, 59 yards in the first half, will lead the offense. Williams stayed on his feet and got to the 24-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6, LSU. Really done a good job of neutralizing Cornelius Bennett, and that's exactly what they wanted to do coming into this ball game. Find out where he was and make sure the play they had called did not go right at him.
Which is the best way to stop. You just don't want him in your backfield, and they're smart. They're going for short drops and quick passes. They're not letting him penetrate and get the quarterback.
There's the All-American linebacker that Johnny Majors called the finest defensive player he had seen in the country. Williams, nothing that time. And it was Jarvis 99, Cliff Thomas 95.
Well, let's see if they're going to go back to Wendell Davis on the 3rd down short crossing route. They ran it the entire first half very effectively. Let's see if they do it again.
Jarvis, number 95, just a great player as the nose guard. Preseason All-American, All-SEC a year ago. 3rd and 6. Garland Jean-Baptiste, the lone remaining running back, as Williams is on a wing. Hodson again behind Davis, and a flag goes down late after the play. It looked like Wayne Davis, number 58, may have grabbed the face mask of Wendell Davis after the pass was incomplete.
Plus, he would not have had the first down. He was only about 3 yards downfield.
Interference.
Oh.
They called a pick on that play. Finally, they've been running it all night underneath the deep clear. He probably picked him. Davis came underneath. Nice call by the officials. That's a tough one to catch.
A knowing smile on Bill Arnsparker's face. And Kinchin, number 49, is pleading his case, saying, I didn't do it. But they will mark off the yardage for interference. It'll cost them back to the 12-yard line.
Offensive pass interference. Loss of down, 4th down.
So it cost them the yardage and the down. It's a devastating penalty, really.
So we saw an adjustment right there by Alabama. They're going to try to put it back or tighter on Davis. They're not going to give him that pass again.
Matt DeFrank out of the end zone. Richardson waits at his 41. DeFrank's had to kick out of the end zone quite a bit of this night. Pressure. Got it away. Not a high kick, and it will take the bounce. Richardson fields it on the hop. Driven out of bounds at the 45-yard line. 37-yard kick, a 4-yard return for Richardson. 12:30 to go, third quarter, a 7-point game.
How much longer till we get there?
About 20 minutes.
Anti-lock brakes, internationally patented suspension, uncanny control. Conventional luxury sedans are built to survive accidents. The BMW 528e is built to avoid them.
Let's see if they're okay.
Experience an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. Atra Plus. The Plus is the white Lubra-Smooth strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
No one really knows how your skin got sensitive. But if it is, try the shave cream with more advanced lubricants than any other. New Gillette Foamy for sensitive skin.
LSU versus Alabama is being brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by IBM and the growing family of IBM computers.
12 minutes, 30 seconds to go, third quarter from Birmingham, Alabama. It is LSU by a touchdown, but the Bengals have terrible field position right here as Alabama takes over at the LSU 44. The last time they did that, they drove for their only touchdown of the ball game. Shula, the draw to Humphrey. And Humphrey won't get much, about the 41-yard line, and it was Darrell Phillips, the backup nose guard, who makes the tackle. Check on some other scores for you. The Bullets are off to a sluggish start, and the Hawks leading them by 11 in the fourth quarter. Indiana over San Antonio, another fourth period NBA scores. We update you on action around the various leagues. Chicago and the Air Jordan show leading Phoenix. 2nd and 7. Humphrey stays on his feet, breaks 2 tackles, driven out of bounds, but not until he gets to the 28-yard line. And Chris Carrier again has to come up from the secondary to make the tackle. Humphrey showed you his strength that time.
Oh, Bobby Humphrey just follows 46's fullback Doug Allen, who really didn't hit anybody that well. He was in a crowd of people. He just kept his feet moving and ran right through them. There's the toss sweep. There it is. With the block of the fullback, he bounces off his own lineman, breaks the tackles. That's what makes it so difficult. Alabama gets those big bodies in there. They get the running backs behind that fullback, and they find those cracks.
Humphrey now 11 carries, 54 yards on the night for his career, or for the season rather, 1,058. This is the fullback Allen down to about the 22-yard line. Jackson, number 35, has to come up from the secondary along with Eric Hill and Darren Malbrough, number 90.
All-America center Wes Neighbors absolutely does a job here. Humphreys will cut back across the grain. There at 54. The center just takes him right out of the play. Man-to-man blocking on that nose guard. That gives the opening for the back to cut back and find the hole.
We have no report of Henry Thomas being injured. We'll try to check it for you, but he's not in there at the nose position right now.
He came in a little nicked up, Mike.
Yes, he did. This point in the season, a lot of people out there nicked up. Humphrey on the sweep, cut it back. 10-yard line to the LSU 9. First down, Alabama. 13-yard gain, and Humphreys finally got it going.
Alabama with their power running game. He's going to go wide and cut back in. Bobby Humphreys, only a sophomore, but watch the way he set up these blockers. And they'll stay with their blocks. He just cuts across. Again, you don't have to put people on their backs. Alabama's linemen are so good at just containing the defensive man and letting Humphrey cut off of him.
First and goal, Alabama. Humphrey again. Lowered his head. Touchdown, Alabama. There is a flag at the 12-yard line, and it's holding against Alabama. That will bring the touchdown back, and Chris Carrier, the LSU safety, is down on the field.
He can't keep making tackles. They're just not going to be able to stop him. And when they stopped him at the end of the first quarter and the second quarter, Mike, Carrier wasn't making the plays. They've got to have those plays out of their linebackers and their front three defensive linemen, not their free safety.
Carrier coming off under his own power, and here is the call.
Holding. Offense. First down.
Now that is the 5th penalty against Alabama, but it is the 3rd holding call.
Oh, but Bobby Humphrey showed us something there. I mean, he just ran right over Chris Carrier. He's showing great strength as well as the speed.
He's only listed at 187. He sure looks bigger than that. And he hits bigger than that. Now it's first and goal from the 19. Humphrey 26, Allen 46. So the split backs. Shula gonna keep it. And LSU defensed that play very well. Ron Sancho, number 52, in on the tackle.
Well, that was some kind of mystery play there. Actually, Mike Shula was looking to shovel past that ball, but he didn't have anyone open. The design of that play was somewhat questionable because he had the ball carrier right in front of Shula, and the defense was pursuing that way anyway.
Yeah.
And I think Mike's got minus 35 yards rushing this year, so he's not the biggest threat to go around the end.
One of the LSU linebackers in there now is Darren Marlborough, number 90, and the officials have a timeout. Marlborough is quite a story. He's undergone a 20-month rehabilitation on his left knee. They didn't even know if he'd walk well after an injury, but he has come back and he's playing more and more, alternating with Nicky Hazard, number 48, at an inside linebacker spot. You can't help but root for a kid like that.
Oh, yeah, 48 tackles coming into this game, and really they never expected him to play again.
Checking on some scores for you. The officials still talking it over. Southern Mississippi over Southwestern Louisiana, and we are not sure why they are talking to both coaches. The 25-second clock is only working at one end of the field.
Don't let you take the time. I won't tell them. I'll tell both of them. I'll tell both of them. 25-second clock is not official.
So now they're saying the 25-second clock at either end of the field is not official. It's being kept by the officials on the field.
It's fun eavesdropping, isn't it?
Yeah.
25-second clock's not working.
The officials have done an excellent job tonight. They've controlled this game very well.
Keep the time on the field.
So that makes it tough for the quarterback. He's just got to go by feel. He can't look up and see that scoreboard clock anymore. He's just got to make sure he gets the play off in time.
It's tough to audible when you're counting on your fingers and getting the ball to center. It's very difficult.
Second and goal from the 17. Three-man rush. Shula dumps it off to Allen. 10-5. Caston was in on the stop along with Jackson. So it'll be third and goal from the 5, and that is a big part of the Alabama passing offense, a little dump-off.
Well, they keep running deep with Richardson and Bell, their flanker and split end. They send the tight end deep, and they dump the ball to the fullback.
Allen with 4 catches and 45 yards.
I would look for Alabama here to run a crossing route to their tight end, particularly the Stafford's end and Pagano. Yes, they have the 2 tight ends, and that's how they scored earlier. They got a 6'5" tight end with Cross on the other side. Tough to stop that down here.
Third and goal, Allen in motion.
Cross.
Oh, and it's overthrown. He had Angelo Stafford in the end zone, but Stafford had people in front of him, and Shula just tried to loop it in and was about 2 yards too long. So the Crimson Tide will have to go for the field goal.
Well, Mike just overthrew this ball barely. He takes the ball, drops back, and Stafford's crossing. He's big, 6'5" tight end. He just throws it too high. But actually, LSU did a good job there. They used the back line. They just didn't let him get open.
Van Tiffen will try a 22-yard field goal. He missed earlier tonight from 44. Only his second miss of the entire season. Yeah. He got that one. Looked like he hooked it, but it got through. Mike Shula on the sideline with Ray Perkins at 9:23 to go third quarter. Now it's 14-10.
This baby will blow the doors off anything on the road, just like a BMW.
Isn't she a beauty? BMW would build one like this.
You think BMW has advanced technology? Listen to this.
Your door is open.
Huh?
For about $22,000, you can own a BMW 325, or the hollow feeling of having settled for less.
Taking your business on the road can be a cumbersome task, and productivity can easily fall off. Presenting the IBM PC Convertible, a powerful personal computer that easily converts to a full-function portable. One you can use in a train, a plane, a car, or a meeting, and be as productive on the road as you are at the office. The IBM PC Convertible. One computer for people who really need two.
A lot of the LSU faithful have made the trip, and they have seen their Bengals leading it now 14-10 as Alabama converts on the 22-yard field goal. And Tiffen, who made the field goal, will kick off. And Williams will keep it down in the end zone. Make it Sammy Martin, number 23, who took it in the end zone. They'll come out from the 20. The scoring drive, an impressive one for Alabama to get back on the board. A 39-yard drive. They took over on the 44-yard line and got a 22-yard field goal out of Van Tiffen after great field position. I'm sure Ray Perkins a little bit disappointed that his club only got 3 points out of that.
Well, they'd scored that touchdown, but the holding call nullified it. Big break for LSU to hold up to 3 points there.
9:23 to go in the quarter. Tom Hodson, the freshman quarterback, has him in the eye. Martin on the toss, cuts back, got away from Bennett, got away from another tackle, and Sammy Martin turned it into a 5-yard gain. Nice move by Sammy Martin. Robinson, who was hurt earlier in the ballgame, came up to make the tackle. Martin, we saw him against Texas A&M, scored 2 touchdowns. He has not scored since. I'm sure he'd love to get in the end zone tonight. Martin out of New Orleans. Hodson, 6 out of 12, only 59 yards, and he's back to throw. And he threw this one out of bounds. He had Martin over there, but Martin was closely covered, and Hodson did the smart thing. He just threw it over the top of the bench. Something a lot of young quarterbacks will not do. They will not throw the ball away. They will not take an incompletion to try to force it.
Now, he's really evolved his playing since even the first game, which he had the greatest debut of any quarterback in LSU history. But he's so much smarter right now than he was then, so much more under control, particularly since he sat out and watched Mickey Guidry take him for a touchdown.
He is not having a 250-yard game tonight, however, against this Alabama defense. 3rd down and long, and throws behind Martin over the middle. Covered well by Greg Gilbert, number 56, the linebacker, who was right on top of Martin. There is a penalty flag down, but it looks like it's against LSU as they leave the field. And whatever the penalty was, they picked it up. Matt DeFrank will punt to Richardson. Richardson waiting inside his own 30. It's been feast or famine for DeFrank in the punting department. This is feast. He crushed it. Bennett driven back to the 17-yard line, trying to get outside. Or rather, Richardson, I'm sorry. And he got a 3-yard return after a 58-yard punt. Timeout, a 4-point game.
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
Ooh, McDonald's McDLT. Such a tasty combination of goodness. So much to get into. McDLT.
Alabama quarterback Mike Shula joins the fight against drugs.
You know, I've been around football all my life, and I've learned a lot of things from both the experiences of others and myself. Now, while I've been in college, I've learned that things don't always go your way. And when they don't, the answer is not to turn to drugs. I've always been taught to think before I act, and I really believe that if you do think about it, you'll realize that drugs are not the answer.
The preceding brought to you by the College Football Association.
We are back at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. The LSU Tigers up 14-10 right now. Henry Thomas is back in the game at nose tackle for LSU. That's pivotal. He's got an ankle problem. He injured it on the opening series. He came into the game nicked up. Now, Alabama would like to be able to control Henry Thomas, fellas, as best as they can with just one guy. If it takes two, then they may have some difficulty getting outside as those backers come up. So Thomas means a lot.
Thank you, Tim. And Thomas has had 5 tackles tonight. Alabama will start from its 20. Nice play fake by Shula. And then dumps it off to Humphrey. And there is Thomas. What a play. They put Henry Thomas back in the ball game after the great play fake by Shula. He just follows Humphrey out in the flat.
What Henry Thomas does is read very well. We'll just take the center on here, neighbors. Now he sniffs out that it's going to be a screen. Watch him go out in the flat and make a one-on-one tackle on Humphrey. That's just an excellent play. But again, he's a reading type nose tackle. So even if he doesn't make a lot of tackles, he's occupying a lot of linemen. Tonight, he's also got 6 tackles, which is a bonus.
And that was a great play. Second down, 13 yards to go for Shula. Got Humphrey in the eye, and he'll give it to him. Humphrey did not get back to the original line of scrimmage, and guess who? Henry Thomas, number 96.
Well, Henry Thomas is being mentioned by a lot of people for All-American. He's just going to take on Neighbors. All-American center right there. Control him, throw him aside, and make the hit. Boy, does he give a lift to this defense. Notice last time they drove in for that field goal, Mike, he was out of the ball game. Neighbors was able to handle the other nose guard all by himself, and they were able to cut back against the grain and pick up some big plays. Not so with Henry in there.
And as Tim Brando told us, he's playing hurt. 3rd and 11. Humphrey will go in motion this time. Shula throws, and it's almost intercepted by Caston as they were throwing for Albert Bell, and Caston got back there and made the big play. This is the young man who is doing everything he can to make up for the loss of All-American Michael Brooks.
He's going to come in again, Henry Thomas, on left of your screen. Nice little stunt there. He goes around the outside. He's going to hit. He's going to hit somebody every play. He's determined.
So now Moore, who got off a boomer the last time, will kick to Norman Jefferson. And Jefferson waits at his 30. It's a lot of respect for the foot of Moore. That is 50 yards from the line of scrimmage. And he'll need it all as Moore just bombed another one. Jefferson from the 30. He's got some blockers far side and can't get to the picket line. He had him out there, and he's driven out of bounds for a 7-yard return after a 51-yard punt by Moore. ESPN's live presentation of CFA football will continue next week when Georgia visits Auburn in another key Southeastern Conference matchup. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Chris Berman, Larry Burnett, and Bino Cook will host the Mercury College Football Scoreboard Show. Looking forward to being on the plains of Auburn next week. It's only one plane ride. We go to Atlanta and then drive. I love it. Garland Jean-Baptiste and Sammy Martin, 44 and 23 respectively, into the ball game. And they'll go to Martin on the screen. What a move by Sammy Martin to get outside. Holy cow, what a move. Oh, he left somebody flat on his face.
I'll tell you, last series he left Cornelius Bennett on the ground. This is a nice catch, too. Hodson makes a nice little toss on this, and Sammy Martin picks the ball up, which is a nice catch right here. He changes directions real quick. Now watch his step. Boom. No way. He's on the ground. Very quick.
It was Randy Rockwell. And Martin comes out of the ball game. He's 4 catches, 38 yards. He picked up 7 on that one. What a great move. Williams is back in.
Looks like an audible right here, Mark.
Toss to Williams, short side. And Williams has got the first down, driven out of bounds, and it was Greg Gilbert, 56, getting over there along with Kermit Hendrick, number 27, the strong side safety.
It's a nice little audible by Hodson. He saw that they were overplaying to the wide side of the field, pitch back. Nice first down. Well, that's a freshman out there. He is really developed.
He's very cool for a freshman. He's going to make the same point. Usually you have a freshman quarterback starting is because he has such great physical tools, and you'll let him make the mistakes, but this young man can also think at that position. First down of the second half for LSU. They had the ball in midfield. Williams pick up about 7 on that one. And the tackle made by Wayne Davis, number 58. Good block by Keith Melanson to open that one up. Melanson is your kind of football player. Kind of mind.
Oh, he has a degree in zoology already. So I guess as a guard, he studies the animals on the other side of the line that he plays against. He's going for business, the second degree now, his master's in business. Very bright, and he was a walk-on.
Do you know why he's going for a business degree?
Why?
Because he wants to be a doctor, and he says he's not going to make the mistakes that are going to cost him $15,000 in the first year. Well, you know, he is real bright.
Well, his father's a veterinarian, and he said it's always been his dream to follow in his father's footsteps. So perhaps they'll have a practice together. Whatever. You don't see many guards that major in zoology.
No. Or many zoology players or zoology majors who are 237 pounds. LSU averaging 4.8 yards on first down. Most of that has been on runs, so they've done a good job against that Alabama front wall. Alabama only giving up 113 yards a game on the ground as a team. We've got a delay, and we don't know why. And now they say it's the 25-second clock out again, so they will keep it on the field. It is a 2nd and 3. There are the numbers on Hodson. Ball at the Alabama 43. McGee in motion. Williams, nice move to get outside. 40, 38-yard line. Harvey Williams showed you the speed there. He did not have the angle to get outside. He still made it.
Very fast and very strong. In fact, he's really the strongest running back they have, and he's the fastest also. Only a freshman. He's going to take this ball, and this is just individual effort. He's going to shake off the tackle right here easily, and he maintains his speed. He's going to pick up the first down and get out of bounds.
11 carries, 47 yards. He's now over 500.
Look at that right hand. He tried to get the face guard. He pulled it off, though. No face mask.
1st and 10. Jean-Baptiste and Fuller in there. This is Jean-Baptiste up the middle, and that was a play that was so successful in the first half. This time shut down by Greg Gilbert. Now, those are the kind of adjustments that coaches make at halftime.
3 yards. Well, let's watch the center and the 2 guards for LSU. We've talked about Alabama's right there. Nacho takes his man right out of there. Jarvis gambled again, went right. They ran it up, but this time the linebackers are playing close to the line of scrimmage and not going to give them the big plays. They're not dropping into those zones as deeply.
2nd and 7. Play action for Hodson. Dumps it off, tried to hit Williams, and nice coverage again by Greg Gilbert, who does a nice job on pass coverage. Very quick.
I think Bill Archbarger's got to think seriously about putting Guidry in again. Hodson's missing his touch right now. He's not throwing real well. He had a man open on this play, and he's just not throwing the ball as sharply as he was earlier. Incidental hit.
And this is exactly the way Hodson was throwing the ball in the first half. When it was time for Guidry to come in the ball game, Guidry comes in, leads him on a touchdown. He's almost perfect this year. Big play here, 3rd and 7. Martin is back in at tailback. Martin on the option. And they were all over. Martin got to the 35-yard line and no more, and it was George Bethune, big number 59.
Well, they brought both middle backers on that play. Looked like it would be an excellent play. Fake the option, get outside, but Bethune made an excellent play, man-to-man, to take down Martin on that play.
And they will punt instead of go for the long field goal. Matt DeFrank will come on to punt. And nobody is back for Alabama. Now they're going to drop Hendrick back to about the 15-yard line. And a bad snap. DeFrank did a great job to go get it. Then hits a low line drive, and they let it go, and it takes the great bounce for LSU, and it's down to the 6-yard line. Down by Chris Cruz.
Another athlete back there, punter. Excellent catch. Drops it on the 6-yard line. But this is a dangerous snap. Chris Carrier hasn't had a bad snap in 2 years. He almost had his first one right there. Almost disastrous. He catches the ball, quickly drops it, dumps it on the 6-yard line. Can't do it any better than that. And they are all down there. Notice he's going to down it right on the 6.
We've got a timeout. Third quarter. It's a 4-point ball game.
Good times coming, TV Guide says, take a look at what's in store. What's in store for you in every issue of TV Guide is a real insider's look at what's on the air and in the air on network, local, cable, and pay TV. Every week, TV Guide cues you into the best of the coming attractions so you can preview all the fun, fantasy, and fascinating real-life drama ahead. So take advantage of this special offer and call now.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200. Get 30 exciting issues of TV Guide for 3 easy monthly payments of just $5.75 each.
You'll enjoy the convenience of home delivery, and you can't beat the price. What are you waiting for? Do it now, okay? Good times coming, TV Guide says, and TV Guide says call today.
800-445-4200. Toll free, 800-445-4200.
Sports Center Sunday previews the day's most important NFL matchups and reviews the most exciting sports highlights of the week. Sunday morning on ESPN.
There's Guidry on the sideline warming up. We don't know whether we'll see him in the next LSU series or not, but he is only 2 out of 2 for 18 yards and ran for his first collegiate touchdown on that rush of 4 yards. But right now, Alabama has offensive problems of its own from the 6-yard line. And they'll give it to the fullback, Allen, and Allen wrapped up by Caston as he got to about the 8-yard line. Caston just stuffed him along with Darren Malbrough. Make it Marlboro. I keep saying Malbrough. His teammates call him Marlboro. So it's somewhere in there, one of those 3. Allen, 7 carries, 29 yards. The big man on the ground has been Humphrey, 13 for 69. Remember, LSU has not allowed 100 yards rushing by a single back this year. 2nd and 7. Humphrey ran into his own blocker, spins out to about the 12-yard line. Good piece of running. Greg Jackson makes the tackle, and a flag goes down. Big personal foul there. That'll get him out of the hole.
Oh, this is a big mistake by LSU. They had him stopped. It would have been 3rd and about 6. Humphrey has nowhere to go but into his own man's back. He had that play stopped. That'll be a late hit. Right there. That's spearing, and that is a penalty. It should be 15 yards.
Eric Hill, number 54.
And the bad part about that is not only the guy laying on the ground, but the person spearing is the one that normally hurts his neck.
Sure.
So it's very dangerous for both players.
So it's a big play for Alabama that they get out to the 27-yard line, and it's a first down.
Looked like an audible.
Moves Humphrey back into the eye, and they'll toss it to him behind Allen. And Humphrey stacked up. That LSU front wall and the inside linebackers starting to play much better run defense. Humphrey had some places to go on occasion. Tim Brando is at the sideline. Tim?
Down here right now, Mike and Pat, you can see Tommy Hodgson and Mickey Guidry are getting together. They're talking about things. Don't be surprised if Guidry doesn't get the call in the next series. He got the word from upstairs, and it's obvious that Guidry should get the call in the next series.
Thank you, Tim. 2nd and 7, Alabama. The Tide from its own 30 and Shula against the 3-man rush. swings it out to Allen. Great catch. And Allen gets up to the 36-yard line. He is tripped up by Kevin Guidry, who got a hand on him. Great hands by Allen to hold on to that one.
Well, he came into the game with only 7 catches for the entire season, and he's caught 4 or 5 tonight. But these are the passes Shula does best. Mike releases this ball, but this is a nice catch by Allen. Reaching right up, but that's what you want to do. You want to lead your receiver. Had he had to stop for that ball, it would have been a 3-yard gain. He led him, so he's going full speed. He picked up 7 or 8.
You're right on Allen. 5 catches, 51 yards on the night, just shy of the first down. It's 3rd and less than a yard. Humphrey. First down. Guidry again on the stop, along with Toby Casta, number 69. But Humphrey's got the first down. And Caston a little slow getting up. As you look at Ray Perkins, there's Caston. And now they want to run him out of the ball game, give him a little bit of a breather. He looks a little shaky right now.
Well, we said he was nicked up coming in.
That's Henry Thomas, I'm sorry.
We said he was nicked up, and of course to us, those would be deep gouges or cuts. I mean, we call them nicks. The guy's ankle is hurt.
Be life-threatening injuries, and he's limping. 1st and 10. And now Alabama will take a timeout with 2:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Ray Perkins wants to know what that one is about. Perkins trying to go after that first SEC championship after some great years taking over for Bear Bryant. And we'd like to remind you that ESPN's live presentation of Thursday night college football continues November 13th when Northern Iowa hosts Indiana State. Airtime for that ball game 9 Pacific or 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific time. So we hope you'll be there for that one.
Yeah, I wonder what, you know, as a wide receiver, I'd have to go in and talk to Coach Ray Perkins, Albert Bell, or Greg Richardson and say, hey, you never made All-America with your offense. You never throw the ball to me. Give us the ball downfield. The receivers, you know, he made All-America. You know he was catching some passes for Joe Namath. He's come to Alabama. He's gotten so conservative.
He was a great receiver, and let's take you back about 20 years. And that is after an Orange Bowl win, the Bear in the middle. And there he is with Joe Willie. Perkins was 88. And there he is with the Bear. Sure, that's a treasured memory for him. And there is Ray Perkins right now. His club is down 14-10. And it's 1st and 10, Alabama, from its own 38. Humphrey, little cross buck action. Dives forward. Tripped up by Nicky Hazard, the inside linebacker, number 48. Tim Brando has some more for us on the sideline. Tim?
The problem with Henry Thomas right now is his right knee. But remember, last year he had surgery on his left knee. He also has a bad ankle. The guy's been having all kinds of problems, but they say he should be able to get back. But Darrell Phillips, for the moment anyway, is getting the job done, number 62 at the nose tackle.
Tim, thanks again for another great job. Here's Humphrey trying to get outside. Breaks the tackle, but Hazard brings him down as he got to the 47. Initially got away from Greg Jackson.
You know, Mike, I watched the Tennessee film a couple of times, and I was impressed with Bobby Humphrey's ability to break tackles. I thought maybe Tennessee just wasn't playing well defensively this year. But he's broken a ton of tackles tonight, and I know LSU hits people.
And he's starting to rack up the yards. There is Thomas with 6 tackles at the sideline. Humphrey now up to 86 yards on 18 carries. Trying to be the first back to face LSU this year and get 100 yards on the ground. Here he goes again behind Allen. Flag goes down. I think we've got a hold, and I think it's going to be Allen holding Toby Caston, number 69. Because he took Caston out of there very well.
Looked like he knocked him down and stayed on top of him. Another big holding call, though.
That would be the 4th.
Holding.
And now it is the 4th.
And you stated a great truism. Alabama does not want to have 1st and 20s, 2nds and 20s. That isn't their offense is.
Testaverde in Miami can do that because he's got the great throwing arm and they've got the great downfield passing attack. Alabama does not have that. Alabama has now been penalized 6 times for 68 yards, but 4 of those have been holding calls.
10 yards holding.
And those come at very crucial times.
One was a touchdown, at least 2 or 3 of them. That was a first down. So it's not always the number of penalties or even the yards. It's when they occur.
When they come.
Either one occur or come, whichever you prefer.
And of course, taking the touchdown pass back really hurt them. They had to settle for a field goal and trail by 4 instead of being tied. It's 3rd down and 11. Alabama 50% on 3rd down conversions tonight. Bell in motion. Shula with plenty of time. Bell wide open at the LSU 39-yard line. Chris Carrier had to make the tackle. Boy, was he open, and Shula hit him on the numbers.
Nobody's going to guard Albert Bell when he has 8 or 9 seconds to run a pattern. He had all day here. Excellent protection. Watch it. They're in a deep zone. 2-man coverage. He's going to cut underneath it. Right there. Out pattern. There's a man-to-man underneath with 2-man deep zone. But again, they gave him 8 seconds. He made the move on Carrier and was open underneath the deep zone.
Kevin Guidry was the man trying to cover Albert Bell. And Alabama now has the ball just inside the 40-yard line of LSU. Allen, the fullback, hit hard by Carl Wilson and Eric Hill. That will be the end of the 3rd quarter at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It's LSU 14, Alabama 10 with 15 minutes of football to go.
Why sit in the doldrums when you can ride the crest?
The Atlantic difference.
Get the Atlantic difference. 8% on your money market guaranteed for 2 months. Call 1-800-4-ATLANTIC and make more money with Atlantic's money market. 8% guaranteed for 2 months. Call the Atlantic coast to coast for an 8% money market. The Atlantic, member FSLIC.
You were born to drum. You and Casio. The stereo keyboard comes with PCM drum sounds. The DP1 electronic drums add snare, bass, rim shot, hi-hat. Casio, be the drummer you were born to be.
I'll see you later. I'm Duke. Now get this. My yuppie cousin puts ordinary oil filters into his turbo Yaha instead of using Purolator's new turbo filter. I mean, even Cookie knows the turbos run hot enough to cook ordinary filters. But Purolator's turbo likes it hot. Not unlike Cookie.
You got your Pure Oil now. You got your Pure Oilator. Purolator oil filters.
Charlie, give me a light. Charlie, a Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hey, thanks.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Can I have a light? Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Welcome back to Legion Field. Tim Brando along with Mike Patrick and Pat McAnally. You're looking at Nicky Hazard. He's got a left ankle, will not return in this one. So Darren Marlborough, number 90 now, will have the onus fall upon his shoulders to get the job done. And it seems now the Tigers are becoming the bruised and battered Bayou Bengals as we open a very crucial 4th quarter.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. There is the elephant on the Alabama sideline.
Left guard move for Alabama. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Backwards.
That's going to cost them 5 yards. Like to thank our statistician, as always, Chuck Freeby, and our spotters tonight, Brian Pitchford, Jeff Allison, and Arthur Trish, for a great job they've done for us tonight. Here's the penalty. Cost them 5.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, offense, 2nd down.
Now, if you like statistics, we've got one for you. LSU has given up 6 points in the 4th quarter this year. That is all.
In 7 games. Less than a point a game in the 4th quarter.
2nd down and 13. Draw play, Humphrey. Fumble. And LSU is recovered at the 17-yard line. Greg Jackson, the safety, got the loose football, and LSU has dodged another bullet.
Greg Jackson, another big play, had an interception earlier in the end zone, and now he picks up a fumble inside the 20. Humphrey's going to take this ball, and it's just a big break right up the middle. They split it. Now he's going to do what he's done all night. He's going to run into a group of people, take on 3 tacklers, but they stripped it from him. It shot forward about 10 yards, and there he is. Greg Jackson falling on the ball. Big play.
LSU takes over at the 17. Guidry is it, and they give it to Jean-Baptiste, and Jean-Baptiste will get up to about the 20-yard line, a gain of 3 on the draw. So Guidry, who led his club to a first-half touchdown, has now come in for what we have come to understand is his single series in each half. This is his shot in the second half, and it's tough to start from the 17.
They are very happy to start at 17. It should have been Alabama's ball on about the 19-yard line, so they were very fortunate.
2nd and 8. They'll give it to Martin, and Martin is knocked down in the backfield. 95, Kurt Jarvis. And number 96, Willie Shepard. And there is Jackson. Young man with an interception earlier that shut off the touchdown threat. Martin has now carried 8 times for only 6 yards as they have shut down his running game. And there is Humphrey, who has now gone 111 yards, the first back this year to go over 100 against LSU. But he didn't want to hear about that, I'm sure. He's really upset about the fumble. 3rd and 10, and the Alabama fans are really hoping it up in Birmingham. Guidry to throw, little swing to Martin, and Martin is buried. He'll lose 8 yards. Big tackle by Derek Slaughter.
Well, they played this 5- or 6-man under coverage with man-to-man coverage underneath, and in this case, his assignment was the halfback, so he just goes right out and takes it. It's the worst situation you can run a screen into when it's a man-to-man coverage. Linebacker just ran right to the back and took him down. No chance whatsoever.
LSU punting again from its end zone. Matt DeFrank kicking to Richardson. They don't come after it, and he gets away a pretty high spiraling kick. Richardson, no fair catch, takes it at the 40. He'll only get about 2 yards, and LSU's punt coverage has been terrific. A 1-yard return after a 47-yard kick. We'll be back.
This is Jeep's all-new 4-liter 6-cylinder engine. It has sequential molded-point electronic fuel injection. It puts out 173 horsepower and 220 foot-pounds of torque. But most important, if you put this new engine in a Jeep Cherokee or a Jeep Comanche, you're going to see more speed and power than you've ever seen from vehicles like this. Just remember where you saw it first.
Full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Live college football on ESPN is being brought to you by Jeep. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep.
Alabama will take over at its own 27-yard line. A late flag. They were whistled for a personal foul on that punt return, so they are back to their 27 instead of across the 40. And Matt DeFrank has done the kind of job you punters just love, hasn't he?
Well, he's averaged 42.8 gross, but 41.4 net. Combination of very, very high punts and excellent coverage. And LSU needs it because you need to push Alabama back as far away from your end zone as possible.
Shula brings them out. 12:55 to go in the ball game. It's LSU 14, Alabama 10. An LSU win creates a 4-way tie for first place. Shula on first down wants to throw again for Richardson. Richardson gets a couple of good blocks and is really drilled as he got to the 38-yard line. Kevin Guidry really gave him a shot.
Well, Richardson showed his speed here. You can see why a lot of those deep routes he takes people with him now. It just run laterally. Just outruns everybody. Almost turns us around the corner, but he'll pay a price right here at the sideline. Oh. Big hit by Guidry.
And the penalty on that punt return was apparently a dead ball foul, so it's still 2nd and 13. They're coming after him. Barbet almost had him, and now they will sack him. Thomas gets Shula at the 40-yard line. So even though they got the big play on first down, it was 1st and 25.
Well, the front three for LSU critical in this game. You know the linebackers are going to have to play the pass, and the front three have to put pressure on Shula, and here they do. 5-on-3 blocking, and they put the pressure on him. They get in, and they eventually drop him. Hold him to a 1-yard gain. But when it's 3-on-5 against the caliber of offensive line that Alabama has, that's a tough task.
Henry Thomas comes up limping after every play, but you can't get him out of the game. 3rd and 12, Humphrey in motion. They like to throw to him. Shula's looking for him, and he's got it. Cross to the LSU 30-yard line.
Beautiful
Chris
throw.
Carrier made the tackle. Darren Marlborough trying to cover him out of the linebacker spot. Pretty throw by Shula.
Oh, they just split a seam here. They just split this zone. He lofted it perfectly. He's got the big tight end going right up the gut. It's a cover 2 zone again. They're splitting safeties, so the middle's open. Marlborough's got to guard him man-to-man. No way he could guard him man-to-man with no support because the safeties were taking away the outside, dropping deep to the left and right zones to the sidelines.
That was only the 5th catch of the year for Cross, the big tight end.
Beautiful read by Shula on that play there.
Humphrey, who had 111 yards before that carry, cuts it back to the LSU 26-yard line. Darrell Phillips, backup nose guard, and Marlborough makes the tackle. Boy, LSU really is getting banged up on defense. They're running out of bodies.
Yeah, Bill Arnsparger is a genius, and he really is a tremendous defensive coach, but you have to have the personnel out there, and they're down to losing a lot of their greatest players. Michael Brooks, now they're trying to replace him, and they're losing the replacements.
Hazard, after getting his ankle taped, is back in there at a linebacker spot. This one won't turn out to be much. Sancho and Caston on the tackle. Thomas is back on the bench, and they're working on that ankle again.
Our coaches told us going in that these Wilson, Thomas, and Barbay were all hurt coming into this game, but there was no way you could hold them out of playing. And I mean, Henry Thomas has come to the sidelines, limped back in, limped out 4 or 5 times, and still making good plays.
Play just as hard as they can for as long as they can. Go to the sideline, get taped up, and hope to come back in. Big play here, 3rd and 3 from the 23. Allen and Humphrey in the eye, and it's Humphrey on the toss. First down. Gets to the LSU 17. Carl Wilson knocked him down, but not before Humphrey had the first down. Let's go back to Bristol, Connecticut in the studio for Larry Burnett and a scoreboard update.
Mike, they say there is a rose in Spanish Harlem, but there is a Rose Bowl in the future for Arizona State, and the future is now. They have beaten California 49-0. John Cooper carried off on the shoulders after the victory. Arizona State going to the Rose Bowl for the first time ever.
Thank you, Larry, and our congratulations to Arizona State. Be a great New Year's Day trip for them, and the officials will stop play as Alabama has reached the LSU 17, 1st and 10. Scoreboard showing 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go in this ball game. A 4-point contest. Humphrey. And Humphrey spinning off tacklers and driving down to the 12. 5 yards, and Bobby Humphrey got every inch of it in by himself. Only needs 8 more yards to break Johnny Musso's record of 1,137 yards rushing. And he's got 2 regular season games to go.
And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah. Looks like Bill Arnsparger's watching practice, doesn't he?
He's trying to figure out some way to stop the Tide. They're running the ball strong now. They don't have Henry Thomas in a nose guard, and they're losing control of the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5. Shula on the option. Sandwiched as he got to about the 8-yard line. Wilson and Hill, 72 and 54 respectively, got him. Shula is very good at all the technical little things that make a good college quarterback. That reverse pivot is not the easiest thing in the world to do. 5 carries tonight, 17 yards, but he's done his damage through the air. 3rd down and a yard for Alabama. And they've got Bo Wright, number 40, in at fullback. A great blocker. First down and goal, Alabama at the LSU 6. And Humphrey did a great job of picking his spots again.
It's 2 straight times on 3rd downs. They've thrown the pitch, just a quick toss to Humphrey. Last time it was to the right. This time it'll be to the right of the screen, to their left. And it's just up to him to find the opening here. The linemen just control their players again, and he'll jump. Look at the athletic ability, though. Now the strength. First down.
24 carries, 128 yards. Thomas is back in at the nose guard spot. Humphrey, fumble! And LSU has recovered in the end zone.
He was
Holy cow.
within an inch of a touchdown. I mean, it's going to be close whether or not he broke the plane. Unbelievable break right there.
No, he didn't get in.
Oh, that was so close. He would have fallen in for the touchdown had he held on to it, though. That would have been a touchdown instead.
Kevin Guidry made the recovery, the second fumble for Humphrey, who has had just a brilliant game tonight. You have to feel so bad for the young man.
Well, this looked like a touchdown right here. He breaks in, breaks the tackle. He's lunging forward. He's going to fall into the end zone right there. Would have been a touchdown. But the ball was loose, literally up just a fraction of a second before he fell forward. It was a good call by the officials. Got to hand it to the LSU defense, so 23 turnovers coming in here tonight.
We'll be back right after this.
The new Jeep Wrangler is a vehicle that's ready for anything. Naturally, it's tough. But it also has a tailgate that makes cargo easy to get to. A tight-fitting, soft top. And it has a surprisingly smooth on-road ride. So Wrangler really is ready for anything. Even the environment Jeep drivers dread most. Civilization.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you gonna do, Jack? Eat your way to college?
Really? I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The new GI Bill.
Are you using that pickle?
Now for young men and women in the armed forces. It's a great place to start. See your local recruiter.
The Soviet national basketball squad meets an American powerhouse, Georgia Tech, live Wednesday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
Right here, it looks like a great play for Alabama. Bobby Humphrey fighting for the end zone. Right there, he gets hit from the backside by number 54, Eric Hill. Just a great play to pop it out. Guidry falls on it. First down, LSU.
LSU from its own 20. Hodson wants to throw on first down. It's tipped and incomplete. Alabama on its last two possessions has gained 146 yards, but they have fumbled the ball away the last two times. There's Guidry, the young man on the sideline, came up with that big fumble. You have to feel sorry for Humphrey. He passed two milestones tonight, and each time he did it, he fumbled the football. The first was when he went over 100 yards. Fumbled, cost Alabama a shot at the touchdown. The second time, he just tied the single-season rushing record held by Johnny Musso, and he fumbled the ball into the end zone. 2nd and 10. Hodson under pressure, throws and drop. Right in the hands of Wendell Davis, and he couldn't hold it. The nation's leading receiver was looking for somebody coming and maybe trying to run with it.
Well, Hodson delivered this ball right on the numbers. This ball definitely should have been caught by Wendell Davis. He doesn't drop many like this. Falling away, but he puts plenty of speed on this ball. He took his eyes off it. Oh, they needed a first down there, too.
He hit him between the 8 and the 2. Now it's 3rd and 10 with 8:18 left. Hodson to throw, blitz, and throwing for Davis again, incomplete. Davis is the guy he will go to time and time again, but he couldn't find him this time. And LSU will have to punt it away, and Tom Hodson jerks off the helmet and walks off the field.
Crucial mistake by Wendell Davis. That ball should have been a first down. They could have lined it back up and run some more time off the clock.
Matt DeFrank, who always seems to be standing between the goal line and his 5-yard line, will punt it away again. Richardson waits at his 30. A couple of fine punters. This one a little lower line drive, and Richardson can't get up to it. It will take the big bounce in LSU's favor. He picked up about 6 or 7 yards on the bounce there, and they'll down it at the 26-yard line. Alabama will have it when we come back after a 53-yard kick by LSU.
Jeep Cherokee has just been reborn. It can now be ordered with a 4-liter, 6-cylinder, 173-horsepower engine. Nothing in Cherokee's class even comes close. In fact, with this engine and a choice of 2 or 4 doors and 2 shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive systems, you could say nothing's in Cherokee's class.
Why sit in the doldrums when you can ride the crest?
The Atlantic difference.
Get the Atlantic difference. 8% on your money market, guaranteed for 2 months. Call 1-800-4-ATLANTIC and make more money with Atlantic's money market. 8% guaranteed for 2 months. Call the Atlantic coast to coast for an 8% money market. The Atlantic, member FSLIC.
Live CFA football on ESPN has been brought to you by Purolator's new Turbo, the first oil filter designed to tame a turbo's heat. By The Atlantic, we can make a difference. By Casio, maker of the shock-resistant, water-resistant G-Shock. It's one tough watch to beat. And by your local independent Safeco agent.
8 minutes, 4 seconds left to go from Birmingham. LSU 14, Alabama 10. Mike Patrick, Pat McAnally, and Tim Brando, great to have you with us on a Saturday night from the heart of college football in the South, Birmingham, Alabama. Shula brings him out. Each possession becomes more and more critical, and he wants to throw on first down again, as he has all night. Throws this one short of Albert Bell. And LSU had a collision back there as Carrier banged into Guidry going for the ball. Now, I want to say one thing about the camera people who have worked tonight, as they have all year long. They have just done an exceptional job, especially because Shula's so great at play fakes and everything. They have been on top of every play all night long, and it's not an easy job to do.
We appreciate every good picture we get, believe me.
Boy, you bet. Shula, 16 out of 23. There are the numbers on him, a touchdown and an interception. Gene Jelks, number 22, will come into the backfield. And they'll give it to Jelks on the draw. And Jelks cut down as he got to the 32-yard line. Toby Caston, the big tackle there.
Well, Henry Thomas is back in the ballgame for about the 8th time. He's been in and out, injured. And he gets absolutely buried by Neighbors. There's the double team we talked about earlier. Double team and then rubbed. Neighbors just buried him. Rose rubbed on the block, went off, and got a linebacker to pick up 6 yards.
Well, you ought to get buried every once in a while. Neighbors is an All-American center.
That's right. He's playing with a bad knee, bad ankle. I don't know how he's even on the field.
3rd and 5. Alabama. Shula to throw. And knocked away from Richardson by Guidry. A brilliant play by Guidry.
Oh, that was absolutely incredible. This looked like a completion. Kevin Guidry just took the ball away, slapped it away. Richardson's going to run a hook pattern on this. Coming back to the ball. And watch this left hand right through there and took it away.
Great play.
Oh, he just stripped it clean. A lot of times as defensive back, you've got to strip the ball. You can't always just knock the guy loose.
This is Chris Moore, who's had a great punting night. Jefferson waits at the 25-yard line. We have 7:20 to go in the ball game. And Moore blasts it again. Jefferson back to the 14-yard line. Nice return up to the 25. Gives LSU decent field position after a 51-yard punt. We have a timeout with 7:06 left. Don't go away.
Sports Illustrated wanted me to talk to you sports fans out there, and also to you people who love them. Christmas is coming, and if there's someone on your list who's interested in sports, give them Sports Illustrated. You fans know I'm big on sports. On the other hand, I'm also sensitive, warm, caring, kind of a teddy bear with muscles. So you folks can trust me to help you find a great gift. You fans are going to love the week after week of action-packed coverage.
Starting with the Sportsman of the Year with the Year in Sports. Then you'll go to the bowl games and Super Bowl 21, the World Series, the NBA playoff.
But you don't have to go anywhere. Just call and order Sports Illustrated. And you'll get an attractive card you can sign and give to your fan. So call 1-800-341-6006 and save over 60% off a full year of SI that includes baseball and football previews, plus the swimsuit issue, all for 3 payments of $14.98. And you won't be billed till next year. So call now and make everybody happy this
Sundays, have a swinging good time with AWA Wrestling. You'll feel every bone-crushing blow. Sundays on ESPN.
You can feel the tension here in Birmingham with 7 minutes and 6 seconds left to go. LSU with a 4-point lead in the football, just shy of their own 25. There is Bill Arnsparger. He's got to win this ball game to get back in the SEC race, and Ray Perkins needs to win it to have one leg closer to getting in the Sugar Bowl. John Batiste on the draw, gets up to about the 28-yard line. Sean Batiste, who ran so well in the first half, has been shut down pretty well in the second half. Of course, he hasn't had the ball too much.
That's the defense's adjustment, though. The Alabama backers, again, are not dropping as deeply. They're going to take away that draw. They'll give up 4 yards. In the first half, they're giving up 15.
Big thing LSU wants to do right now is you see the total yards. Alabama dominating statistically. LSU needs a couple of first downs and to keep the clock going. Hodson. And they blitz him and they bury him. And number 96 really did the job. Willie Shepard, sophomore reserve linebacker.
Well, Shepard's going to blitz on this play. LSU's running an option, but they have no chance to execute it. Hodson has no chance to pitch this ball right in his face and just take it right away.
They told us yesterday they have 11 linebackers that they feel deserve time to play, and they play it. Third down, 10 yards to go. LSU only has 2 first downs in the entire half. Hodson throws deep sideline, picked off. Intercepted by Kendrick. Kendrick back to the 20. They're going to say he was out of bounds at the 41-yard line. But Kendrick made the interception. They were throwing for McGee, and he read it all the way.
Well, this is just a freshman mistake. He threw it into double coverage. There's no way he should have gone. No way he should have thrown this ball to Raji McGee. To cover 2 again by Alabama. They drop their safety over the top. It's man-to-man coverage, but the safety comes over and takes it right away. No chance for McGee to get that ball. Freshman Airy just didn't read the coverage. He had the corner beat, but he didn't have the safety beat.
Now, for those who did not letter in football or anything else at Harvard, a cover 2 is?
A cover 2 is when the safeties both split and help the corners. They double deep. Corners take the guy man-to-man or come up and bump him. And it's deceptive to the quarterback because he sees the receiver behind the corner. He doesn't, but he should have read that earlier. We saw Shula read the cover 2 and go to the tight end, which is wide open over the middle.
So the safeties are playing center field.
No, the safeties go to the sidelines. There's no center fielder, so the center field is open.
In a sense, not in actuality. Shula looking deep sideline. He's got his man and he overthrows. Jelks coming out of the backfield. Didn't mean to hang ourselves up on terminology there. We've got some score updates for you. Louisville leading Tulane 16-12 fourth quarter. Idaho over Montana State. And there's our special. Fort Valley State over Savannah State 18-6. 2nd and 10 for Alabama. Shula now 16 out of 25, 188 yards. Jelks. He gets to the 37-yard line. Question for you, why is Jelks in there? Is it possibly because Humphrey is injured? Or do you just go ahead and alternate your backs when you need to alternate them?
Well, I think they just put him in there to give Humphrey a little time maybe to relax a little bit. I know he's disappointed, but they want him to run aggressively, and that's the type of runner he is. He's going to get hit from a lot of different angles, and he will fumble consequently, but he can't lose his confidence. I think they just wanted him to relax a little bit.
Well, you're right. He's back in there now on 3rd and 5. Biggest play of the ball game so far. Shula, 3-man rush. He has all day to throw. Dumps it, tipped, and almost intercepted. The linebackers ran together. Eric Hill and Ron Sancho. Hill had the interception, and Sancho was going after it so hard he knocked it away from him. Holy cow, look at Bill Arnsparger. He knew it.
Had the defense too well designed. He had 2 players there. They drop off. They're going to take this ball away. They want to stop Humphrey. He's going to run a little short route. They're dropping back. Notice, so the backers aren't dropping very deep. And right there, you notice it looks like that's an early hit. Looked like it was interference, but the ball was tipped, which makes it legal to hit the receiver at any time.
Alabama will go on 4th and 5 from the LSU 36. Humphrey, here's the reverse to Bell. And we've got a hold out there. Flags are all over the place. And number 52, Ron Sancho, stayed at home. He saw it diagnosed and he was waiting, and the Alabama offensive player just grabbed him.
Larry Rose definitely clipped him, grabbed him, call it whatever you want. But Sancho stayed at home, made the biggest play of the night. Oh, he took that reverse. That's an interesting call. Big gamble.
Yeah, sure
They run that sweep so well all night.
And they didn't make the first down, so the clipping is inconsequential. Great play by Sancho.
Well, they've set this up all night. They've been running the sweep effectively. Here comes the reverse to Bell. But Sancho just played it perfectly. He just gets hammered from behind. Definite penalty. And then Larry Rose makes the tackle, too. He clipped, and then he tackled Humphrey.
Before that play, Bell had run the reverse 6 times for 89 yards. Time now a big factor. 4:51 left. Williams. Nice move across midfield to the Alabama 49-yard line. It will be a first down for LSU. It'll stop the clock with 4:44 to go.
Harvey Williams, number 22, right on the left of your screen, right in the middle. Take the ball here. Again, he's very strong, very fast. Notice he just cut right off the guy. Now he'll just use his power and pick up the first down. LSU isn't real effective as a ball control team, so that was a big first down. Every yard they can pick up here, if they can get another first down, they can run it down to 2 minutes.
See the numbers on Williams. And we've got movement in the LSU offensive line with 4:26 left to go in the ball game. Here's the significance of an LSU win. It would make it a 4-way tie in the Southeastern Conference. If Alabama would win, they would clinch at least a tie for the conference championship.
It's like LSU's destined to win this game, though. They're riding some.
Yeah,
they've had a lot of big breaks, and they've used them. 2 touchdowns. The only 2 times they've really moved the ball. They scored.
Illegal procedure. Offense. Gonna play a first down.
So it's 1st and 15 with 4 minutes and 26 seconds left. Let's give you a look at the standings and what would happen. Alabama would go either 5-0 or 4-1, and you would have Alabama, LSU, Auburn, and Mississippi all tied with a single loss.
And Alabama still has to play Auburn.
They'll give it to Williams on the delay. No chance as Rockwell is in there along with Davis. Harvey Williams upset about something.
Well, the one thing you don't want right here is a turnover. This is very dangerous. He's got the ball in his right hand, and he almost gets it stripped right there. He should have had it in his left hand. That's almost a fumble. And they were going for it, believe me. They wanted to try to knock that ball loose when you have less than 4 minutes left. That's a freshman mistake he got away with. They'll tell him about that on the films.
Philip Brown checks in as a linebacker for Alabama. Eddie Fuller, number 33, is in there at a running back. And Garland Jean-Baptiste hanging on to the football. Drives over the 45 to about the 47. Clock running.
Now, Mike, do you pass the ball?
I don't.
You're going to run it?
I run it.
They're very effective with their punting team tonight.
3 minutes, 23 seconds left to go. Alabama will, or excuse me, LSU will get Williams back in the ball game.
I say they throw it.
Well, I bet if they throw it, it's the safest pass you've ever seen.
They got to go for the first down. They got to go upfield with it.
3rd and 14. 3 minutes to go. Hudson wants to throw and throws over the middle, complete. It's going to be shy of the first down, but he threw it to Williams coming out of the backfield, and he did exactly what Coach McAnally called for.
That was a nice play, though. You helped on that a little bit. It was a conservative pass. What they needed was they needed a broken tackle right there. They didn't get it from him, but nice execution by Hodson.
But it's going to be 4th down and about 4, so they will punt it away. Let's see if they come after DeFrank. The line of scrimmage is the 42. Richardson is in there, and they come after him, but he got it away. DeFrank just booms this one. It'll go into the end zone, probably, and does. And Alabama will have 2 minutes and 19 seconds to win the ball game with a 14-10 margin, and they'll start from the 20. Immediately following our game, stay tuned for the Hartford Insurance Group College Football Report. Larry and Bino will review all the day's activities in college football, like Penn State barely winning over Maryland. The Terps almost tied them. 2-point conversion at the end.
How many times has Mike Shula pulled out games in the last 2 years in situations just like this for Alabama?
I'm sure that's what Bill Arnsparger is saying to himself, and I'm sure that's what Ray Perkins is telling himself at the sideline. He's got plenty of time, 2 minutes and 19 seconds, and 2 timeouts if he needs them. Humphrey in motion. 3-man rush again. Shula with a lot of time. Intercepted by Hill. Hill at the 30. Protecting the ball and goes down at the 27-yard line. Eric Hill, the sophomore from Galveston, Texas, who almost had an interception on the last possession, got this one.
Mike Shula just threw this ball into double coverage. Eric Hill's doubling. He's helping out on Bell. Now he'll just drop back into his zone. He hits him right in the numbers. That's really not a difficult interception. And you think about Eric Hill, he forced the other fumble, almost picked the ball off last series and picks that one.
LSU will work on the clock as they go to the ground game. A flag is down and the clock stops, or it doesn't stop. It continues to run after the officials asked them to stop it at 2:05. It ran down to 2:01.
Holding.
Oh, that's a big call to put them in a situation like that. That's a big mistake by somebody for LSU. And there is Hill, who was celebrating on the sideline.
I got the feeling early in this game, though, that it's just LSU. They just were going to will this win somehow. You talk to their players.
Holding. White team. Decline. Second down.
You talk to their players and their coaches, and they love playing here. They look forward to it. They haven't lost here since 1978. They had a lot of confidence, and they've had the big breaks tonight. That's why they're winning.
Alabama's timeout situation now becomes critical. They have 2 left, and we're down to 1 minute and 50 seconds. Bootleg Hodson stays in bounds. Good play. Gets to the 22-yard line. Smart play by the freshman. Didn't want to go out of bounds and stop the clock.
It's got to be a gut-wrenching morning when they look at these films.
Yeah.
Alabama's done whatever they wanted basically in the second half except score 1 field goal, and they scored on that play series and got a call back.
That's right. An interception, 2 fumbles, and a penalty have taken away 4 potential touchdowns for the Alabama offense. And LSU just hanging on by its fingernails. They're leading 14-10. Timeout with 1:39 left. We'll be back in Birmingham in a moment.
Bud Thunder. It's revved up and coming at you.
Not everyone got a vacation this summer.
I need a vacation like nobody's business. I need a vacation.
This fall, you can still get great low fares to more places on the biggest bargain airline, United.
I got a vacation. Give me another shot at it. And I'm not just flying, I'm flying the friendly sky.
Nice soft landing.
14-10, LSU leads Alabama. And the Tiger tearing up the other mascot with 1:39 left. Third down, 4 yards to go. Alabama has 1 timeout left. Williams. Alabama going after the football at the 20. Let's see if Alabama stops the clock again. They will with 1:32 to go. So this will bring up a 4th and about a yard. Do you go for it, or do you go for the field goal that would give you a 7-point lead?
I go for a first down and seal the win. Their defense has played out. You know, they made the big plays when they needed to. I go for this.
They're talking it over on the LSU sideline. Remember, Browndyke, the field goal kicker, missed a short field goal, a 30-yarder that could have won the Ole Miss game. He has kicked 7 out of 9 this season after taking over for Ron Lewis. It's a difficult decision. It would be a 36-yard try if he goes for it. The worst possibility is you might get a bad snap or a block kick. Even if you make it, you have to kick off.
I think Bill will go for it. I would. I mean, you got a chance to absolutely seal this win. They've converted well on their short yardage plays this year.
I don't think they have the running game to go for a short yardage situation. I don't know if they're powerful enough up front to get the yard, but we'll find out what Bill Arnsparger decides to do.
They're going to go for it.
Browndyke on the sideline. Freshman. The good part, if you do not make the first down, Alabama will take over inside its 20 yards, and they would need to go more than 80 yards with no timeouts left. They get 2 tight ends in there. Jean-Baptiste dives.
He got it.
Depends on the mark. It's going to be very, very close. And they will mark it near the 17. That will be a first down. And
Outstanding
John
call.
Batiste is celebrating like crazy.
Got to hand it to Bill Arnsparger. It's a great call. It's going to send Batiste over the top, but he had confidence in his offense. I like that. I like it when a coach sticks with his team.
Well, at least Bill gave it a little bit.
He's been through a few of these.
And now with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go, Alabama cannot stop the clock. And Garland Jean-Baptiste piles into the middle, just hanging on for dear life. And LSU should be able to run out the clock. Now it has stopped.
When you talk about LSU's defense,
and a holding call against LSU on a plunge up the middle.
That's 2 on this drive.
Yeah.
So you talk about LSU's defense, 23 turnovers coming in. That's Bill Arnsparger football. They make the big plays.
Holding, offense, refuse, second down, second down.
Yardage means no difference. Now Hodson is asking the official if the clock starts, and it should as soon as the ball's marked ready for play again. So Alabama wants the down and not the yardage. The yardage doesn't mean anything. Hodson looking to the sideline. 25-second clock does not work. So he can't look up at the scoreboard. We're down to 47 seconds. Hodson watching the sideline. They will tell him when to go. And he didn't get it off in time. They told him too late. Somebody over there with a stopwatch is 1 count off.
20 push-ups right now.
Bill Arnsparger eyes the clock, which shows 41 seconds. The clock will not restart this time. It will not restart until the snap of the ball. If the game stays the way it is now, 14-10, these would be the new Southeastern Conference standings. And 4 teams with a single loss. We will see Auburn and Georgia next week. Georgia is out of the race, but they could really give Auburn fits. Auburn and Alabama will play each other later. We should see LSU again in 2 weeks against Notre Dame in Baton Rouge. We got some beauties coming up. 2nd and 13. Garland Jean-Baptiste almost broke it that time. He gets down to the 15-yard line.
But who would ever imagine that 14 points would hold up? 14-7 lead at halftime, that Alabama would be held to 3 points in the second half.
And they will have to snap the ball one more time, it looks like. They marked the ball ready for play with 26 seconds to go. But they'll only have to snap it one more time, and they will have pulled the win off here in Birmingham. And dealt Ray Perkins his 2nd loss of the season. Hodson taking all the time he can. He may get another penalty here. And they'll just let it go. Bill Arnsparger and Ray Perkins talking with each other in the center of the field, and Arnsparger has won a huge ball game for the Tigers of LSU, and a big loss for Alabama that will drop them into a 4-way tie. And of course, if we have a tie at the end of the year, there he is with Shula. Good friends of the family. Shula grew up around Bill Arnsparger as an assistant to Don Shula at Miami. And of course, if it is a 4-way tie, it is going to be up to the bowl committee to select who will go to the Sugar Bowl. And if, who knows, it can't be a 4-way tie because Auburn and Alabama have to play. But you could have a lot of unhappy people after that decision is made.
It'll be tough to pick Alabama over LSU. If LSU beat Alabama, yet a lot of people feel Alabama's a better team. I don't know. I like the tie-breaking rules in the NFL better. They're sound. And
Chris Carrier and Shula, what you like to see. Guys who respect each other's playing ability. A lot of these people played together or against each other in high school. They've played together several times in these matchups. And really, you want to go out and beat the other guy's head in, even if he's your best friend. But when the game's over, the game's over.
That's the nice thing, particularly about college football.
Yeah.
You know, they'll go home. The kids will look at the film. They're going to be very disappointed. But Alabama will come back and play well next week. The question is, can LSU go down and beat Mississippi State?
And there is the scene down on the field. Our director, Mark Payton, and our producer, John Wildhack, don't miss a thing. If it's out there, they find it.
Darren Malville right there on the top. Who would ever thought he'd be here for this win?
Down there with Mike Shula. What a sight that was. Tim Brando is down on the sideline with a very happy coach, Bill Arnsparger. Tim?
Mike and Pat, it's just business as usual on ESPN for Bill Arnsparger. He does his little circle, he goes, waves to everyone, and comes away with a big win. And this is a huge one for you,
well,
Coach.
I just thank the fans for coming. I didn't realize we had as many up there in the corner, but I just thank them, and you know, it's just a great win. And I'm just happy that we don't have to play against Mike Shula anymore. I tell you, it's a, you know, he's been here there, and I just am real happy that we don't have to do that.
You won this game really with a brutal defense that was banged up and bruised. Henry Thomas came out of the game with a knee, with an ankle. The same thing for Nicky Hassett. I was told he wouldn't even get back in the game, and he came back. You really won it with defense in the second half.
Well, it's just a good job of our coaches and getting them ready, and our players went after it, and you know, our doctors kept them taped up.
Let's talk a little bit about the Guidry-Hodson combination in the first half, because it seemed to work really well, because Tommy wasn't really on tonight in the first half.
He looked excited there early, but he settled down, and you know, I wish we could have moved a little bit better in that second half, but we were playing a good defense. We were punting the ball, and you know, there's nothing wrong in punting the football, particularly when the wind's behind you. Matt did a good job one time into the wind, getting us out of the hole. We were in a hole a lot the third quarter.
I was about to say your punting game was outstanding tonight. Let's also touch on the big play. Fourth down, you could have either kicked the field goal and assured yourself at least a tie, but Shula would have to come back on the field. What was your thinking there?
Well, Tommy, you know, I thought field goal. Tommy said, no, let's run it. And so, you know, I go with my quarterback.
Listen, it's a good chance we're going to be back in Baton Rouge to do the Notre Dame game. I think we're pretty good luck. I guess you're happy we're coming in, possibly.
I like to be on ESPN anytime. With you, with everybody.
All right. Bill, thank you so much. Congratulations on a great victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill Arnsparger, the head coach. We saw him perhaps with his biggest win to date against Texas A&M. I think he just eclipsed that with this victory here.
Thank you, Tim. We've seen a couple of great ones this year from Bill Arnsparger over Texas A&M and now Alabama. And our Hartford player of the game, sophomore linebacker for LSU, Eric Hill. 11 tackles tonight, caused one fumble, and made an interception. Our congratulations to the sophomore linebacker from Galveston, Texas, Eric Hill of LSU. We'll be back to wrap it up from Birmingham, Alabama, where LSU has beaten Alabama after this.